Yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? Hope everyone is doing fantastic today. I messed this whole thing up, like tremendously messed it up. What's going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day, fantastic night. We have a week and a half left until Eagles free agency. And Howie is cooking right now. Howie's cooking. And, we still have some guys to retain. We're going to find out on, obviously, a few of them, Mekhi Becton. And, obviously, the big one for me is Zach Bond and what's going to happen with him. Milton Williams is definitely going to be out of the price range. Josh Sweat going to be out of price range as of right now. So, a couple, we're going to go over some of the news from today. Obviously, we have a video already lined up for tomorrow on some of the stuff. So we're pretty excited. I think as Eagle fans, we're saying to ourselves, it's not that many moves going into this offseason, but Howie Roseman is freeing up cap space as well. And I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. We got Bloody Shot. What's going on, man? Stefan Paparo, MJ, what's going on, dude? Nate Banks, Jerry Fry, what's going on, man? Michael Dujan, what's going on? He says Bond will get signed. Interesting. Brandon G, what up, Joey? How you doing? What's going on, man? Pat Ryan, what's going on, man? As usual. Bryce Blackwell, as usual. Stephen Papar, what's going on, guys? Hope everyone's doing well. This video is sponsored. The stream is sponsored by BetUS, so definitely go check them out. If you guys have not, appreciate it so much. All right, so obviously a lot happened today. Okay, we haven't talked in a few days. But how about Saquon Barkley getting his deal, man? I mean, 2 years, $41.2 million, because realistically, this was supposed to be his last year in Philadelphia in 25. 26 is an option year, but we all kind of saw that, what did I say? I said they're going to do something with that Saquon Barkley contract. I didn't think they were going to really give him that much more money. $20 million back, the number one running back that's getting paid right now. The running back market is about to implode like there's no tomorrow. $36 million fully guaranteed, $15 million in incentives. Yeah, Saquon Barkley deserves every single penny, no doubt. We've heard some weird stuff today on A.J. Brown trade for the Patriots. There's so much news of that going around, and I don't even know at this point why that's even being talked about. Some Patriot insider was talking about an AJ Brown trade that they gave the Eagles a call already, and that's interesting enough. Let me tell you something. Like you trade AJ Brown, and I don't even want to say this. You trade AJ Brown, like you better rob somebody. Like you might as well knock down this entire roster. Like you're going into a dynasty type year where you can continue a full on repeat of what you did in 2024. So we're going to see how that facilitates on what they wanted for him, if anything's going on with that. But James Bradbury got released. Okay. The Eagles saved $2.1 million with the Bradbury move. They saved 4.2 with the Darius Slay move, okay? And the Saquon Barkley deal, they dropped his dead cap from $14 million to $6 million. So the Eagles saved, I think, like $10 million in cap already. So that should bring them up to what? $32 to $34 million? Should it be at 34 million right now? 32 to 34 million. I think because we're at what, 22, 23, something like that. But that Bradbury release is a June 1st designation, so the Eagles won't get capped from that until June, to $2.1 million in June, which is perfectly fine. You had to get rid of James Bradbury. There was no point of keeping him here. The money he's making, they had to dump some of that contract, and it just had to happen that way. The Eagles are going to take a little bit of a hit on the dead cap, but as long as the Eagles are drafting well and they're producing young guys every single year, you're not going to have issue. Dead cap will be no issue once you're producing players to a high level. Pat Ryan says, we had 22 million before the cuts and Saquon. I think 34 mil sounds about right. Yeah. Now, if they have 34 million, did the Eagles get their new money from the new league year yet? No, because the new league year doesn't start till March 13th. So if they're getting like $7-8 million from the increased cap from the league, the $272 million, whatever it is, are they getting that more cap space? I'm not really sure. So I'm trying to figure that one out. If they have 32 to 34 right now, are they getting more cap from the new league year? Because if that's the case, they're going to have over $40-something million in cap space. So, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah. Wicked one. What's going on, man? So what up, Joey? Go Birds. What's going on, man? I'm figuring out a way to put more the chats on the live streams, because what I was using before, it was literally slowing down my entire computer. It was like shutting down my computer. Like it must be a really bad file or something, this extension I was using, and I'm not using it anymore. So let's see here. Tyrell Young says, we need to get Goddard done next. Yeah, that is the truth, man. He's $11.8 million cap hit. There's already rumblings that the Eagles are going to trade for a tight end. I know the Eagles have had a lot of interest in the draft with some of these guys. But that tight end from Las Vegas Raiders is on the trade block, apparently, 23 years old, has been productive. But isn't obviously on a great team right now. So there's been a lot of teams trying to trade for him. I forgot his name. So I don't know if the Eagles have interest in trading for a tight end or going in the draft. They probably won't double dip unless it's the undrafted, free agent market, whatever, after the draft. So we'll see. Steven says, Slay will not go to Jacksonville. The Eagles or Lions make sense. Yeah. Slay, I don't know. Apparently the price, he's willing to come back, but the price is going to be steep for him. So now, like, I don't know who you have more faith in. Do they bring Isaiah Rodgers back? Is Ringo? Honestly, guys, I'm not on the Ringo train yet. I'm really not. He hasn't played that much. Not that I don't believe in Keely Ringo, but he hasn't played much. Like, what am I supposed to really take into Keely Ringo right now? You know what I mean? When you're on practice squad, when you're a depth piece on the roster, you don't get any playing time. It's really hard for me to say that the Eagles have trust that he's going to produce and another offseason program under his belt and really have that number 2 spot opposite of Quinyon Mitchell? No. Are you moving DeJean to the outside? Hell no. That inside corner spot is one of our weakest positions depth-wise because now Maddox is gone, which he really wasn't a difference maker anyway. Good play in the Super Bowl, but obviously he shouldn't be coming back. They need more inside corners, no doubt. I think safety depth they totally need. Tristan McCollum and Sidney Brown need some competition there. The Eagles have been looking at safeties in this draft, whether it's Malachi Starks, even Malachi Moore from Alabama, that's a day 2 pick, and he's more of a hybrid player, so they could obviously draft him if they want. That could play inside corner and get him more playing time, and then maybe move him to safety later on. Once Reed Blankenship is not a free agent after the 25 season, Reed Blankenship could be gone. They're not looking to pay him big money because they have to pay Nakobe Dean at a lesser contract. Jordan Davis is probably going to get paid, and obviously Jalen Carter's going to be waiting in the wings for a big contract as well going forward. Jalen Carter should be one of the top, probably he's going to get, he's probably going to break history with how much money he's going to get. So we need to figure out this cap situation 100%, and we'll see what happens. Pat Ryan said, I think new money is effective March 12th when the free agency starts. So if the Eagles are getting new money is effective, okay, they should have over $43 million in cap space then. Realistically, they should. Realistically. If they just freed up like 10 from the Barkley extension, they're going to mess with other players. From the Barkley extension to the Bradbury release and to the Slay release, they saved up like 10. If 10's being added, they should have 32, 34. If the new league year begins on March 13th, they should be getting more cap. They should be getting well over more cap. If you're in the $40-something million range, what is the plan for Howie Roseman? That's the thing. The more I look at this Myles Garrett trade situation, bro, I'm staying the fuck away from it. I'm staying far away from it as I possibly can. It's getting worse. Like, every time I read something about it, it's like bad news and more bad news, and they're either going to overprice for a 30-year-old, and trust me, you're trading for a good player, but a contender doesn't want to give up that much. Like, that's the thing. He wants to play for a contender, but what is a contender is going to give up how much? What are you supposed to do in that situation? What are you supposed to do? Michael said, Dujon says they will draft a corner in the draft. Oh yeah, I mean, I think they'll hit on cornerback. I wouldn't see why not early. I don't know. It really depends what continues with this cornerback spot. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. We got Beast Guard, man, with the super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. First of the night. He says Barkley is about to retire an Eagle. Well deserved. That's true. It just really sucks that we got him late in his career, man. But you know what? They got another chance for another championship next year, this coming season. And, sky's the limit, bro. He's deserved every fucking penny of that. Every penny of that. So, to be the highest paid running back, here's the thing with the Philadelphia Eagles. If you play well for the Eagles, they fucking reward you. They don't bullshit you. The Eagles got a very good reputation when it comes to if you play above average and you play sky's the limit type play, you're going to get compensated for it. And I think that's what they're starting to get known for now. You know what I mean? We're not franchise tagging players. Like, everything is like the ship has fucking sailed. It's smooth sailing with the Eagles when it comes to getting these contracts done. And that's the greatest thing about it. You know what I mean? Joseph Thanos Ring says Eagles will extend Super Bowl champ Hurts. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think they're going to mess with that Hurts deal. That $21 million, like, he's 21 against the cap. Lowest quarterback in the entire league. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Chris, what's going on, man? It says it's starting to look like Howie may strike somewhere else, not Garrett. It might be. It might be. They don't really even need to strike anywhere else for an edge rusher. They don't even look. You got your 32nd pick, bro. You want to get an edge rusher in this draft? Moving up in the draft is obviously going to cost a lot. It's going to cost a lot more draft pick wise. But if Garrett is going to cost less picks but more but adding good players to the mix, I don't like that. I don't like it at all. I'm not trying to decimate this roster. Like, who are they going to want? If players are even involved, you know what I mean? Slay has got to figure out if he's coming back, and he's going to want big money because he's coming off a Super Bowl and he's going to want to be well compensated. I don't want to pay Slay that much for a guy that's in the medical tent, 4 or 5 times a game. They got to have a good backup behind him. And who's the best backup behind Slay if they re-sign him? I don't know. Ringo, Eli Ricks. I mean, there's really not much there as of right now, Bald Eagle, what's going on, man? Appreciate the super chat so much, my friend. Says, why are we talking about trading Dotson? Dotson, Pickett, Huff are all trade candidates. I'm not going to bring Garrett, but hey, who's talking about trading Dotson? Why? The only reason look, realistically, it's like that defenses are selling out for Saquon. That Super Bowl was a perfect example why you have Jahan Dotson. You put the Jahan Dotson on the outside, it gives you the flexibility to put A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith on the inside in the slot and create these big mismatches. You take Jahan Dotson out of that, you can only get so far. They're either going to double team on A.J., they're going to double team on Devontae Smith. Having Jahan Dotson is huge for this offense, 100%. Yeah, I mean, he's cheap. He's only like $3.5 million against the cap. He's nothing. Rent him for 1 more year. Hey, if he wants an extension, give him a little small extension after this year. I mean, I don't know how much Jahan Dotson's going to be. Obviously, his stats aren't great. His biggest games of the season this past year were what? The Giants game where he got targeted a bunch when all our starters were out. The Super Bowl, he had 2 good catches in the Super Bowl, a catch and run on the left sideline, the 27, 28-yard pass on the right sideline. I mean, look what he did to that cornerback in the Super Bowl, bro. I mean, Jahan Dotson's got it all. We just don't use him because he's not pressured to do so much with this team. When Quez Watkins can't make make that catch with all the pressure on his shoulders. You couldn't rely on Quez Watkins for those big moments, and with Jahan Dotson, you can rely on him in those big moments. And it makes a huge difference. There's no doubt about it. You know what I mean? Nay Banks says, I think Garrett is straight Philly, and let's not a shot. He's got a shot at coming here. He's 29. I wouldn't want to overpay, but he's one of the best in the league. No, I don't want to overpay either, but realistically, we've won without Garrett. I'm not even worried about getting him, to be honest. Realistically, we're not in a panic mode to get him. Even though you lose Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith should have a bigger year next year. Okay, just think about it. Nolan Smith's second year was his second year and third year combined. Realistically, it's like his first year was connected to his second year and trying to produce, and then once he started producing, he immediately went into his third year in that second year at the end of the year last year, especially in the playoffs. The Philadelphia Eagle breaking a record of 4 sacks in the playoffs consistently by one player has been broken, and he should have a good year. Jalix Hunt, I mean, I think he is a gem. He is a huge gem. It's too bad they didn't play Jalix Hunt earlier in the season. I think that was a big one for us that we just never really played him. But realistically, I don't mind going to this 30-second pick, and just drafting somebody. You know what I mean? Shit, Abdul Carter's going to be gone. James Pierce Jr., depending on how people see his off-field issue with that traffic violation, if people take that seriously, I don't know. You can't draft Mike Green because he's got so many he's got this sexual assault issue going on from high school to Virginia, then he transferred to Marshall. So I don't think Howie Roseman's going to have any type of interest in Mike Green. It's unfortunate. But people are saying what? Somebody said Bryce Huff. Yeah, Bryce Huff. They're going to have to dump that contract, bro. Some way, somehow, they got to dump it. It's got to be a post-June trade. It's it's going to be like 13 in dead cap. You're going to have to take it. As long as the Eagles are drafting well, that dead cap means nothing. It's going to mean absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? You take the hit, you eat it up, you take the bullet, and you call it a day. You know what I mean? Yeah, because I love Dotson, but he is stunting Johnny Wilson's growth. He needs the actual game reps. Practice reps aren't enough, even against the #1 defense. Well, here's the thing, dude. Like, Johnny Wilson, he's had his opportunities. He had a couple touchdowns this year. I think he had one called back. I think it was the Browns game. He had that drop in the Super Bowl that probably would have been close to a first down. Johnny Wilson, like, I think he's going to be situational for this offense where they can use him in the red zone. Like, yeah, sure. I mean, it's his first year. What is he, a 6th-round pick, 5th-round pick? I don't know what he is. So there's not so much pressure on him. Stunting his growth, yeah, I guess. But I think Johnny Wilson's had a lot of opportunities this year. You know what I mean? But Jahan Dotson, you need him playing. Like, you need him to play. Jahan Dotson this is last year in Philadelphia contract-wise. I don't see them getting rid of him. He's got a ton of value. You know what I mean? Johnny Wilson playing on the outside right now, he's not that much of a big threat to defenses. Putting Jahan Dotson out there is going to be a bigger threat because he's got all that speed. I mean, he is who he is. Dan Quinn is a bullshit artist saying that he was entitled and he thought he wasn't even running for the 2nd, 3rd wide receiver spot. You know what I mean? So I don't know why they got rid of Dotson. Look, we gave up a hefty price, a 3rd, a 7th. I think that was kind of hefty, but at the same time, he got traded literally last second before the season started. They had him as really a blocker or just a guy that was sitting, on the boundary for Hurst to throw in the ball most of the times. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I think Jahan should never be getting disrespected. If he's a decoy that's going to get attention, I have no issue with it. You know what I mean? I have no issue whatsoever. Bloody Shot with the super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. So I think we're going to draft a defensive end or a right guard. If we don't sign Becton, but Howie will kill it in this draft again. I believe it. I think edge rusher is definitely on the table unless they go sign an edge rusher right now. Right guard is going to be injured. Like, I think they can afford to get rid of Mekhi Becton. I don't think they need to sign him. For me, I'm just selfish because, does Mekhi Becton really want to go anywhere else after all the crap he went through with the Jets, finally finding his place, his family within the Philadelphia Eagles, an oversized right guard that was able to play right guard for the Eagles in 1 year? I wonder if they're going to re-sign him because you have to watch out for Lane Johnson to retire in a couple years. We want to see what Trevor Keegan can do in camp. We want to see what Tyler Steen can do in camp. They have interest in Anthony Belton in this draft. He should be a 3rd, 4th round pick. He's a nice left tackle that I think they're going to cross-train him to guard. He was on a official 30 visit for the Eagles. And he's another guy we need to watch out for in the mid rounds that Jeff Stoutland's going to get his hands on because he could be the starting right guard this year if they draft him. So we'll see what it looks like if they resign Mekhi Becton. We'll see what happens with that, so. Antonio Holmes, what's going on, man? He says, Nolan Smith's been hurt 3 straight years. He's starting to scare me. Drafted edge early. He missed the last Georgia National Championship game, shoulder injury last year. He got surgery now on tricep. Well, the tricep injury, it's not a serious injury. It's not like he has a patellar tendon injury like Nakobe Dean has. Like, yeah, he got hurt his rookie year. It is what it is. He got banged up a little bit, and then he got playing time by the end of the year when everything was really falling apart. But I still think they need to add another edge rusher, so I agree with that. But I don't think it's scary that Nolan Smith got hurt. Look, he had a torn tricep. I mean, it's not the worst injury in the world, and obviously he played through it in the second half of that Super Bowl. So I'm not really worried about it too much going forward. You know what I mean? Pat Ryan says, got to do something with Goddard to extend him and a draft replacement or what. I would extend him 1 year. If they can extend him 1 year, make it a voided year, if they could do that and stretch out that stretch out the cap hit because it's $11.8 million for Dallas Goedert. It's a big chunk for a guy that's missing 5 to 8 games every single year. It's a huge chunk. Miles said, would you trade Huff to Atlanta for Kyle Pitts? Sure. I just need to know Kyle Pitts and his blocking. Is he a good blocker? Because if he is, then I'll do it. If he's not, then I probably won't do it. Chris Scott says Goddard will restructure. Tyrell Young says Becton going to be cheap for us for sure. I mean, after 1 year at guard, it depends how teams look at him. A lot of teams obviously aren't going to try to put him at guard. Maybe they will. I don't know, but we'll find out. Brandon G says you can never have enough edge rushers. That's definitely true. You know, one that I would really accept right now, this is only if Brandon Graham doesn't come back, because I think Brandon Graham could play for another year. You would think I'm crazy to sign a 37-year-old edge rusher, but realistically, like, if Brandon Graham doesn't come back, I wouldn't mind signing Khalil Mack, to be honest with you. He had 6 sacks this past year. He had 6 sacks this past year. He had 16, 17 the year prior, which I thought that they were going to trade Khalil Mack after, from 2 years ago when he got the 17 sack season. I thought they would have traded him because he was a lot older, and obviously, we'll see. I figured they would get some value for him and try to trade him off, but it never happened. Khalil Mack loves Vic Fangio as a depth piece, as a deep rotational depth piece. I don't think Khalil Mack is really a bad bargain chip. When he comes to Philadelphia, you say, look, like, you're going to be the backup. You're going to be backing up in deep rotation. You know what I mean? So I don't think that would be a bad. I wouldn't sign Khalil Mack and, Brandon Graham at their ages. No, Khalil Mack's 34 years old, so I wouldn't sign both of them. If you don't get one without the other, I think you go for Khalil Mack. I wouldn't be a bad signing for me. I think that'd be a pretty good signing for the Eagles. Philly says Vic is going to find a great edge guy to fit his scheme. Oh yeah, I believe it. There's plenty of edge rushers in this draft. We have to get through the first week of free agency to see what they do. If they sign an edge rusher, I don't know if they double dip at that position. We'll see. If they double dip, we'll find out. I think if they sign somebody, if they sign a Khalil Mack or something like that, I think they could draft another guy. No doubt. I think they can draft another guy. So we'll see. AI Coconut guys, hey Joe, hope all is well. I feel that we have made a mistake with oversigning Saquon Barkley. His original contract was good enough. I just hope he doesn't get injured. Well, dude, it's what if I walk out my door and I slip and break my leg? What if it's just, there's always a what if when you extend people. I mean, everybody should be happy about Saquon Barkley's extension. This year was Saquon Barkley's last year. You know what I mean? I think he's handled himself pretty well. They have to get a valuable back behind him. I like Will Shipley a lot. Do the Eagles think Will Shipley is the main back behind Saquon? I don't know. We'll find out, but he's got to have a reliable back behind him. I wouldn't get too nervous about it. Like, yeah, of course guys get banged up. It happens. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. Parker the Fly says Philly 500 wants Asante Samuel Jr. The thing with Asante Samuel Jr., and I'm just going to say this, like, who's the guy from the Packers? Those two guys in free agency, I don't think they're physical enough for this scheme. You got Deebo Samuel now in the division now, so you really need to, if they don't bring an Isaiah Rodgers back or a Slay back, I don't know if Asante Samuel Jr. really fits the mold, to be honest with you. I don't think they're physical enough receivers, to be honest. Physical enough corners. So we'll see. Pat Ryan says Landry an option. How about trading for Barrett Browning from Denver? Well, there's a couple of them there. No, Saquon was signed. Yeah, it was a 2-year deal. It was a 2-year. The Saquon original deal was 2 years and then an option year. It was an option year. So technically, this season was his last year, and then he would have an option year where he can opt out of being with the Eagles and sign somewhere else. So technically, we have him for this season, we have him for 26, and we have him for 27. So, you know what I mean? They saved $7 million in cap space with that extension. Yeah, Jair Alexander's another one that's out there, and I don't think he's injury prone at this point, and I don't know if he's even physical. They need a fit like Quinyon Mitchell. That's why he fits the mold so well. Slay fits the mold so well here because they're both, trust me, when they're coached to be physical, those guys are physical. I don't know if Jair Alexander fits the mold as well as Asante Samuel Jr., but we'll see. Jair's got a lot of injury history too, and he's missed some games. So I don't know if it'll be the perfect if we don't get Isaiah Rodgers back or Slay back. I don't know if those are the better options. And honestly, to draft another DB in the first round, I mean, that would be kind of crazy. That'd probably be the most surprising one for me going forward. You know what I mean? Appreciate Brandon and Pat. Brand G said, I'm not worried about Barkley getting injured, but we definitely got to draft or get another running back to keep him fresh. Oh yeah, they need something else. This running back draft is I've only went over a few guys, but I know it's deep. The Eagles don't have to draft one early. They could if they want. If they want to go into the second round and draft a running back, they could. They have like a 1-2, a two-headed monster if that's what they want to do, but I don't see that happening. I'd say 5th to 7th round they'll get somebody, probably. Chris says we saved $10 million from the extension. 10? From one extension? I thought it was 7. I thought we saved like 7. It's $10 million just from that move. So that's like $16 million they saved then between Barkley. Slay is 4.2, 4.3, and Bradbury is post-June release for 2.1. I thought it was 10. I watch all these reporters. They said they saved 10 million. I don't know. Let's see. Humble Services draft Scatabo to back up Barkley. I haven't watched him yet. I have to watch more on him. I don't know much about him yet. It's $10 million, really? Damn. Well, that's really good then. 10 million from one move? 16.8? Really? Damn, that's even better than I expected. So that's like, what was it, like 40, what was that, 37 million in cap? Yeah. That's really good. 39, that's really good. And then the new league year begins, they should be getting more cap. I mean, I think that's how it goes, right? I mean, I've been doing this for so long, and the cap thing still confuses me till this day. It always does. We got Muscletron with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. It says a report said James Pierce Jr. graded the worst character grade out of all combine participants. You call BS, or could he be perfect for Philly? I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, after all the things that happened with Jalen Carter, should have never dropped to the Eagles. And I guarantee you, Seattle was interested. Maybe Chicago had interest, but I guess they didn't. They moved up one spot from 10 to 9 for that off-season stuff that was going on. You take bad character guys. I think the one guy they're not going to draft is Mike Green, because that's like, Howie Roseman already talked about this at the combine. He talked about, like, we're not just going to draft somebody out of, just to give anybody a second chance. Like, if it involves abuse towards women or anything like that, they stay away from stuff like that. He was accused for sexual harassment twice in high school, and then when he went to Virginia, and then he transferred from Virginia to Marshall. And he didn't even work out his dude, he should have worked out at his combine. He shouldn't have not sat for the combine. I don't know why he sat. Made no sense to me. But James Pierce Jr., we always hear this stuff. We don't know what does anybody know what's been, like, do you know if anything's been said about him? Like, things that he actually said? I'd take a chance on him. I'd take a huge chance on him. I wouldn't mind it at all. Appreciate the super chat, by the way. God says, Howie will get enough money to re-sign Bond and Becton, then trade Garrett in. Jesus. As long as Bond gets signed, I could sit back and relax. I'll feel like if Bond gets signed, if Bond doesn't get signed, you got a glaring hole at linebacker. I'd be getting that linebacker from fucking Alabama. What's his damn name? That linebacker from Alabama would be like literally in the cards for my first pick of the draft. I'm not even kidding. So we'll see. Pat says, I try my best to understand it, but seemingly learn something new every. Oh, that's me. That's me every year. I always learn something new every single year, no doubt. I always learn something new. Mark Pizzle. I think Ringo starts next year. Vic did say him and Rodgers was close last year, and he's still only 22. Yeah, Christian Parker had some good things to say about him pre-Super Bowl. You know, shows out at practice. He's great on special teams. You know, we'll see. Yeah, Antonio Holmes, Parker, and humble servant says Jihad. Yeah, Jihad Campbell. Jihad Campbell, if I'm saying his name right, from Alabama. He looks really good. I really like that Jalen Walker from Georgia as well. He's another guy that could play on the line, and you could play him off ball too. You know what I mean? He's another guy I really like. I think he would fit really well here too. So another Georgia guy could be coming to Philadelphia. You never know. You never know. But if Bond isn't signed, bro, it's a problem. You think it's not a problem, but it's a problem. Nakobe Dean's not going to play till October, November. Patellar tendon injury, it's a serious knee injury, bro. It's serious. That's not some light knee injury. Like, we got to see if when Nakobe Dean comes back, is he going to be the same player? And when he comes back to play, it's going to take him like another month just to like get going on the field. You do all this rehabbing, you're not running, you're not doing stuff, you're sitting. So it's going to take him a while. He's got to go through his offseason program during the season. And then Ben Van Simmeren, I think he's a free agent. I think they're going to sign him back, but he's another guy that's coming off a knee injury. And what else do you have there? Trotter Jr.'s barely played. I mean, you're going to start Trotter Jr. and then what? I mean, like, it's just, for me, like, I think Trotter Jr. is going to be a good player, but realistically, guys like Keely Ringo haven't played enough. Trotter Jr. has flashed, but he hasn't played enough. I'm not putting any disrespect towards Trotter Jr., but realistically, guys, you're going into a championship year. I think the one issue I've seen with Trotter Jr., which isn't really a big one, is he can't wrap up in the backfield. He's let guys go in the backfield from a 3-4 yard loss to, you know, a 2-3 yard gain. You know, he made those mistakes when he came in for the Eagles this season, in the preseason games, and he couldn't wrap up totally well in the back. I mean, he can get in the backfield, make plays. He just got to wrap up and take them down. So Steven says, yeah, wrapping up at work. Yeah. Oh, wrapping up at work. Oh, I think you meant the Kobe Dean. Trotter Jr. So I think there's, you know, a lot of good things to take from it. Lord Vaughn said, we can't let the op have Garrett, especially a team like Washington getting better. Yeah, well, yeah, Washington's going to get better. I mean, did they get better from the Deebo Samuel trade? I mean, as a team, they got better. Against the Eagles, I don't think they got better. No. This guy's coming off an injury. I think they got him like 3-4 years too late. That's just my opinion. I mean, remember when we were looking for a receiver in 22? The Eagles contacted Seattle for DK. The Eagles contacted the 49ers for Deebo, if you guys remember. And there was rumblings about A.J. Brown, but we really ignored it, and there really wasn't much there. We saw A.J. Brown and Hurts like working out in the offseason. It was just a weird time, like, okay, what's going on here? And then it actually happened during draft night. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll see. Loris Vaughn, Bradbury said it was fun and happy to get a ring. Dude, no one should give James Bradbury disrespect, bro. Like, you know what? He was part of this building process. He never could, when he was hurt with this injury that we didn't find out to the end of the year. He had a lower leg injury, but we didn't know what it was. And then we found out it was an Achilles injury. You know what I mean? So, he got a ring. He deserves a ring. He's been part of this building process for the Eagles, and you know what? It is what it is, man. Like, he deserves it. He was a good corner for us in 22. He played his ass off in 22 as the number 2 cornerback. You know what I mean? So I know the Super Bowl, you know, is sour grapes at this point. It wasn't just his fault. There was a lot that went into that game that didn't go, that was really against us, and our defense obviously was coached horribly with Jonathan Gannon and what he was really prioritizing after that game, not even thinking about that game. But yeah, I mean, you know, I think they got Deebo way too late in that trade. At this point of his career, they got to take on 21 million dollars. I don't know what the number is. They got 2 wide receivers in Washington that are literally 30 years old. I know Terry McLaurin's still 29, turning 30. Okay, 2 30-year-old receivers. I mean, don't they want Jaden Daniels to grow with a receiver? Make a trade for another. An aggressive trade with the money you have and the draft picks that you have. Like I don't get that. And I'm being as unbiased as I possibly can with Washington. Like you're literally like Debo's got this year left. I don't know if he's got 2 years or it's just this year. And then McLaurin's going to be a free agent. De'Ami Brown's going to be in free agency. Like, you know what I mean? You're going to bring Zach Ertz back as a starting tight end. Like you literally are not. You're just saying to yourselves, we're just going to repeat this year with a better roster. But is it really that much better? I don't think it's helping their future. It might help them for this year, barely that. I don't even know. Skid Marks with the super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. He says, hey, Joey, if we could sign Bond, Becton, Rogers, anything else is gravy. Oh, yeah, dude. They sign Bond right now. I'm perfectly fine. I have no issue at all. Appreciate that super chat, man. Chris Quabbin says, Alameda Zacchaeus is probably better than Debo right now. Yeah, and that's a stretch. I mean, honestly, I don't know if he's. I think Debo is one of the best yak yards receiver. After the catch, he's one of the best receivers. But he's coming off an injury. I mean, he complains a lot. He's just a big complainer. The Eagles have to get more physical at cornerback. So this cornerback spot to me right now is completely empty. It's completely empty right now. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with the entire situation. And guys, I just put out draft highlight reaction videos. We have extra. You're getting double the content. Every day I'm putting out extra content. If you haven't became a member yet, become a member. Doesn't matter what tier it is. The $2 tier, $5 tier, doesn't matter what tier it is. I already have 2 draft highlight reaction videos out right now. We're putting one out every single day until the draft. So if you want that extra content, just become a member for $2 a month. That's it. And you get double the content every single month. So definitely check out that if you guys have not. Appreciate it so much. If you guys haven't checked out as well, okay, the new merch for the Philly Shakedown podcast, okay, the new Champions polyester shirt. A lot of people have ordered already. It's a high sprung polyester shirt. It's got great design. These take my guy like an hour to make, so definitely go check it out if you guys have not. Absolutely fantastic. If you haven't ordered the main thing t-shirt as well, people have been ordering that in support of the Philly Shakedown podcast. Link in the description for that. And obviously, if you want a closer look at the shirt, it's we have a little bit of a bundle here. We have a lot of we just made a whole bunch more of these. So if you haven't checked it out, it is there. It is awesome. Definitely go check it out if you guys have not. Link in the description for that. And I'll put the link in the live chat as well if you guys haven't checked out the new merch for the Philly Shakedown podcast. And we're going to have a lot more coming out in the next. We're going to have a lot more coming out for the draft, and we have some things cooking right now. We haven't, and Antonio Holmes is the main reason why it's happening for the main thing t-shirt, by the way. Shout out to Antonio Holmes. You'll be getting your stuff real soon. So appreciate it so much, man. Appreciate it so much. And obviously when you buy a shirt, you're supporting me and you're supporting Philly 500. So, it's a good cause. It's a good cause. We put out some really good stuff. So, appreciate it so much on that front going forward. But definitely become a member if you guys haven't either. Appreciate it so much. Let's see what we got here. John Monroe Jr. says De'Ami Brown is an undrafted free agent, and there were reports that the Commanders aren't bringing him back. Yeah, he's going to – I mean, what are they spending money on, honestly? They're bringing in a 30-year-old receiver that's 17-20 against the cap this year. Like, what are they spending money on at this point? You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Nothing is guaranteed. Like they think like they're a few pieces away and they're going to become a better team. There's no doubt about it. But realistically, you're done with the 25 season. They got to figure out they're going to have to pay. They're going to be paying Jaden Daniels. Like it'll be a contract year suit. You know what I mean? He'll go into his 3rd year after 25, and then the contract talks are going to happen. They don't get anything done. They can't make it back, and there's no guarantee that they're gonna make it back. It's like, oh, they were in the NFC Championship game, and They always say, oh, they'll get there again. They just need to, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. The Eagles could do it because we know they're talented. There's talent everywhere. Like the AJ Brown rumors are absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, why would the Patriots even attempt? I know Vrabel has a good relationship with AJ Brown. That trade for AJ, getting rid of AJ wasn't his fault. The GM that got fired 2 days after AJ Brown, 2 days after the Titans game, totally just embarrassed them, got fired. So, we'll see what happens, man. Brand G says those shirts are fresh as fuck. Dude, a lot of people have ordered. A lot of people. Definitely check it out. Seriously. That champion shirt is our probably our favorite shirt that we've made. No joke. And the main thing shirt is great too. So Chris, said Jaden Daniels falls back to earth this season? Probably. Look, every quarterback has been better than Jalen Hurts this season. We all know this, okay? I haven't seen too many people apologize after this Super Bowl, so I guess Hurts is going to have to do it again. You're going to run out of excuses sooner or later. He keeps winning championships. Realistically, it's like the Eagles are either in the playoffs or they're in the Super Bowl, or in the playoffs, Super Bowl, playoffs, Super Bowl. That's how it's been the last few years. You know what I mean? That's where they've been at. Steven says we all know we will know everything Monday. That is true, my friend. Alfredo says Fly Eagles Fly. I feel the same. I want to see a Bond re-sign by Sunday. Yeah, we're hoping. So by Sunday, by this weekend, we're going to see deals being done. Everything, obviously, the deals can get done this weekend, but officially, they can't be official until 4 o'clock on the 13th, Monday, whatever it is. So we'll see a lot of things happen. EC1 says, you hear reports AJ Brown to Pats? Yeah, it's stupid. I'm not even wasting my time on that shit. It's a waste of time. I know people tag me, there are people that tag me on fucking X all the time about just shit that's just not realistic. Like if somebody says something, they make a nice overlay. It says this person said this or this trade is going to happen. It's just people trying to make drama and try to make noise and try to get clicks on their fucking pages, and that's all that shit is, bro. That's all that shit is. Every time I see something that's not even a reliable source, because it has a fancy picture of the player in high definition with big bold letters saying trade rumors, and it's all bullshit. You know what I mean? The Patriots stuff, I can believe they made the phone call, but is it going to get done? Hell no. You know what I mean? If you trade AJ Brown, you're you know what I mean? Realistically, if they decide to trade AJ Brown, I'm expecting 3 first-round picks, bro. He's been an all-pro ever since he's been here every single year. It's a waste of time, Eduardo Rodriguez says we need corner, bro. I totally agree. We're pretty empty there now. Jane 2100, what's going on? How's it going, Joey? I wonder why the media are milking that AJ Brown. Because, dude, that's just because it's gonna garner people clicking on their fucking articles. That's all it is. That's all it is. I think it's news that they called. I think that's realistic. I think that's the most realistic thing. And that's just me with this entire rumor of what's going on. D-Money says, how are we not paying 15 plus mil for Bond? You never know, bro. It's all about the signing bonus, how much money is up front. If he gets a monster signing bonus, that contract per year could be a lot lower than expected. At $15 million I think it's a bargain, bro. 14 to 17 is a pretty nice bargain, at least for me. I think that's a good bargain for us. You know what I mean? Let's see. Greg Miller says, Joey, what do you think about the new QB coach, Scott Loeffler from Bowling Green? I like it. I know he worked with Tom Brady years back. Honestly, I have no idea. I'm hoping it's good for Hurts, and I think Hurts is going to have a lot of say with Kevin Patullo in this offense, and I think Kevin Patullo is a pretty good hire right now. I think it's getting better as the weeks are going on, and I think it was the best decision they probably could have made. So we'll see. Curl said, Eagles fan. Let's see. Big Ed 619 says a lot of good free agents at cornerback, plus Howie and Vic put their heads together can work magic. Oh, I agree. Look, they're going to look for a lot of scheme fit type guys that might look for trades. They might look for I think they're garnishing something. I mean, the Eagles, if the Eagles have if they end up having like over $45 million in cap space, which Chris Scott said earlier in the stream that the Eagles have they got $16.5 million from the Slay release, the Bradbury post-June release, and the Barkley extension, which saved us money. You know what I mean? So if you save that much money like that, the Eagles are going into another year. They can have some pretty good caps. That's some pretty nice cap space to have. And you don't even have to sign Becton. Like, if you sign Bond, I mean, I'm wondering what that Bond contract's really going to look like. You know what I mean? But cornerback, like Lord Vaughn says, Cooper DeJean is fine in the slot. No, you're not moving him, bro. You're not moving him. They need to get depth at that position. There's no doubt, because without DeJean there, there's nothing. We have nothing behind him. Eli Ricks can't play on the inside. Even when Rodgers was here, he couldn't play on the inside. Ringo can't play on the inside. There's a lot of these guys. The only guy that played on the inside was really Quinyon when they started him in training camp, because they took him out of position at the start of camp, which was really weird to me. And then they moved him to the outside. And I think the only reason they moved him to the outside was because, remember that, Isaiah Rodgers hurt his hand. I think Rodgers was supposed to be the starting outside corner, which is really weird to me. And then I think he was supposed to be and then Quinyon was supposed to be inside. So it was kind of weird, Kirkio, Eagles fans, simple solution, bring back Nate Gary for linebacker and Derek Barnett. Yeah, right. Lord says Cooper DeJean is fine. What's going on, LUP? What's going on, man? John Monroe said, I could see Howie bringing Bond, Becton, and Rodgers back, then let Ringo and Rodgers compete for the other corner spot. Yeah, potentially. I mean, look, I think Rodgers is going to try to cash in, but realistically, he didn't play that much. The only thing he has on his back right now is he won a Super Bowl, so he's going to try to put his price up because he won a Super Bowl. He's had some playing time in the playoffs, but he didn't play a lot all year. I mean, I think the projected contract for Isaiah Rodgers right now is like 1.2 to like $2 million a year. Oren Burks is going to try to cash in, but they can try to cash in. I mean, Oren Burks was just Jesus. I mean, I honestly don't know if Trotter Jr. was going to put up the numbers like that, but let me tell you something. Oren Burks was a great piece, was a fantastic piece. Started in that Green Bay game, and we're kind of like, he's all right, and then he really started to do a really good job. Really good job. Right, so I don't want Ringo at starting DB2. He's physical, but doesn't change direction well to cover receivers on the outside. No, we haven't seen much of Ringo, and I think he's a statue at times. I think his hips are too slow. Downhill, he's great. Tackling downhill, he's fast, he's physical. I think his technique is really good tackling wise. He's a good special teamer for us. So far, that's what we found out about Ringo. But other than that, there's not much. I'm not going to say he's bad. I'm not going to say he's good because he hasn't played much, so that's where I'm kind of at in that situation. Pat Ryan said, if I had to take a wild guess on Bond, I'd say 3 years, 45 to 50, 25 to 30 guarantee. That's reasonable. Yeah, I think so. Because realistically, that per year can go down tremendously. Just if they give him more money up front and a big signing bonus, yeah, I mean that might be a little bit better. It could really help out. It was not even like a few days ago. Bond was. Let me go over this first. Mark Guy, welcome to the camp counselor tier, my friend. Thank you so much for joining up. And becoming a member for all that extra draft content that's already up right now. We already have 2 draft content videos. You're going to get double the videos. You're getting draft content for the main channel, and you're getting double draft content for the members-only videos. So definitely, guys, become a member if you guys have not. Appreciate it so much if you guys You guys haven't become a member, definitely do it because there's more videos to watch. There's more videos to watch, so definitely go check it out. Link is in the live chat for that. So appreciate it. You know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man. More money up front could be a lot less than possible for signing. I mean, you can't let that man walk. You really can't. Literally, that completes your defense. That one move in the middle with Zach Bond, that is a game-changing move. That is a game-changing move. So, George Thomas says radio in Boston had a reporter saying we have actually good chance to acquire him. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Raga says, even if Bond is re-signed, we will need another linebacker. Can't go into next season with just Trot and 2 injured linebackers. Well, yeah, it's true. They might, I'm not saying, if they get Bond back, obviously they're not going to hit the first round with a linebacker, but they're going to have to get somebody. So, if they bring Oren Burks back, I'd be perfectly fine with that. And I don't think he's going to be expensive. He might cost a little bit more just because he played in the entire playoff, so he might have a little bit more value going into the the free agency pool, but we'll see how it goes. I think a lot of these players know that they have a huge chance to win next season. I think they do. I think a lot of them have are going to be like, look, like I might want some more money, but if they meet me halfway, I'll come back just to try to do this all over again, So we'll see how it goes. Ish Julian Kahn says, look, they're going to get Zach and Becton, but I feel they are trying to hit a home run either with Crosby or Garrett or even Parsons. Just my thought. The only thing with Crosby that's going to be an issue is I don't know if he actually wants to leave. I don't know if Crosby wants to go. Crosby has been like ride or die with the Raiders at this point. I think Crosby is really seeing if, Chip Kelly's the new OC over there, new head coach over there. So he's trying to see if they're going to put an actual good team together. They're not going to be able to compete this year. I mean, they're changing head coaches, they're changing coordinators. They have no consistency when it comes to their play every year. They're not drafting well. There's a lot wrong with that team right now. So we'll see if Crosby changes his mind, but it's a long shot for me unless it's behind the scenes and maybe there is a lot of interest. I don't know, because a lot of times we don't hear a lot of good news. So George says, Joey Shake says, Joey Shake says, Howie Roseman would trade him if the price is right. Everyone got a price, bro. Yeah, but not for a contending championship. There's no point. You get rid of AJ Brown. It does not. It makes us worse. It makes us worse. Like taking him out of this is. I mean, it makes no sense. The money has nothing to do with it. Draft capital, of course, any team could call the Eagles and say, "Hey, we want AJ Brown. We'll give you what, the price is. You're giving up like 4 first-round picks for AJ Brown, bro. Why do you want it? Why you guys aren't even ready for a championship? Why? I mean, why at this point? Yeah, maybe you want to get a number 1 receiver over there, but regardless, like not from the Philadelphia Eagles. They're trying to compete for another championship. Makes no sense. That has nothing to do with price. We're trying to win another championship next year. Why would the Eagles why would the Eagles create a big hole at wide receiver? Makes no sense. So Ron says, what if Milton signs with Washington? Yeah, he might. I mean, there's possibility. There's a huge possibility Milton might sign over there. I want to see how Milton plays on another team. You know what I mean? I want to see how he plays. You know what I mean? We've seen Milton Williams next to Jalen Carter. He's a great player. Jalen Carter makes everybody great. Milton's a good player. But for over $21 million a year, the Eagles are just not in that price market. I mean, they'll probably attempt to try, but I think it's going to be a waste of time. Yeah, Antonio Holmes just said, and Williams will learn really quick about life without Carter. He's going to get the most money to another franchise. and he's going to find out the hard way. And I mean, like I said, I think he's still going to be a solid player, but Jalen Carter, dude, like you line up next to him, bro, you're going to get a lot of those one-on-ones. You're going to get, you know what I mean? Life is nice. Life is real nice. George says A.J. Brown is much more reasonable. Is A.J. Brown still in play for the Patriots this offseason? We asked Patriots Insider. Oh, it doesn't mean anything, bro. All these beat writers are bullshitting, bro. Our beat writers bullshit. Everyone's bullshit. I can believe they called, but it ain't gonna happen, bro. I guarantee you 100% it won't happen. It won't happen. They said it's more reasonable, and they never said that it's not dead yet. Yeah, they're gonna try to call a million times to get a trade going, but the Eagles are not giving up A.J. Brown on a championship year. Like, and George, what do you think you're giving up for A.J. Brown? What would you give up for A.J. Brown realistically? I want to hear this. I want to hear, what would you give up for A.J. Brown? Copy paste bullshit. Yeah, it's stupid. Who cares what the insiders to the Patriots had to say? What do they know? what do they know? Come on now. Like, you know that trade wouldn't happen. I mean, after a Super Bowl, they're going to get they just extended AJ to a big contract. Like, what do you come on now? Fucking rumors. Like, that's all it is. It's rumors. Yeah, I can agree that Vrabel probably made the phone call. It wouldn't shock me. But what would you give up for A.J. Brown? I want to hear what you would actually give up for A.J. Brown. Because I believe whatever you think is going to be tolerable. I mean, you're a rebuilding team right now that needs draft capital, but trading for a guy in A.J. Brown, you guys don't even deserve A.J. Brown. Simple as that. Stupid. Ron says that's actually a really. I'm not calling you stupid. I think the report is stupid, by the way. Ron says that's actually a really good point, Joey. I didn't think about it that way, which makes me wonder how much more dominant Carter would be next to Garrett. Oh, it would be, dude, a defensive player of the year next to like an Aaron Donald clone in Jalen Carter. I mean, we've seen it, dude. I mean, look, Jalen Carter had what, 6.5 sacks? Imagine what these numbers are going to look like having both of them next to each other. Nolan Smith on the other side. I mean, it's these DBs won't even have to cover for 3.5 to 4 seconds, bro. It's going to be a wrap. It's going to be a wrap. You sign Bond and trade for Garrett, it's a wrap. Like, it's a wrap. It's done. If you just sign Bond, it's still a wrap. And they have to make some moves connected to it. But realistically, you make those 2 moves, it's done, bro. Sit back and watch Howie do the rest of this offseason. Pat Ryan says 3 first. That's insanity. Yeah. It's insanity, but Howie wouldn't take the deal. So what's the point? You know what I mean? What's the point of trading A.J. Brown if you're re-signing all these other guys? I mean, you're you know what I mean? He's a troll, bro. He's a fucking troll. He's a troll. Let's see. Godzilla says, would trade 3 first rounds for anybody in the league. When's the last time someone traded 3 first round picks for a player? You know what I mean? Imagine if, like, the Patriots have what? The second, third pick? What do they have? The second pick? What, third pick? What pick do they have this year? I wouldn't trade 3 first for anyone either. D-Money said, if the Pats offer 3 first for AJ, y'all can have him. I said, yo, Joey, if you had to give up one player, who would it be? AJ or Devontae? Why the fuck are we even talking about this? Why does that matter? It'd be tough. It would probably have to be, I don't know. It would probably have to be Devontae Smith. It's a tough one for me because realistically, I think AJ is the one that gets double teamed the most out of every single game, and you add a second receiver. I mean, it's a hard one for me for both of those guys. So, Hubble Search says Yannick Ngakoue. We've been talking about Yannick Ngakoue for how long, bro? Since like 4 or 5 years ago? No, probably not. Probably not. Guys, those 3 firsts from the Patriots would be top 10 picks. But yeah, potentially. Yeah. At least like for the next 2 years, probably. But was what did we get for Malcolm Jenkins? Nothing. He left. We never traded Malcolm Jenkins. He just left. I wouldn't take 3 firsts for Carter or Bellata. I wouldn't either. They're way too valuable. Rocky said, yeah, can we stop with the trade talk for AJ? It's the dumbest thing. He literally just signed an extension a year ago. That's what I'm saying. Like, I always have these people message me on Twitter and they like copy and paste all these fucking reports and they're just like, look, you know, it's like, bro, stop. Like, it's just to this point, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. KG said the Patriots want AJ, they would have to give Lurie some stake in the franchise for him to fuck draft picks. Yeah. Awards rate people, bro. People listening to Dan Shilio too much got the brain rot. Hey, if that's who they want to watch to get all their news from, I mean, for me, you know, how many times do we hear Devontae Smith's is in the trade talks? Nolan Smith's in the trade. Oh, WIP said Devontae. WIP said Nolan Smith's in trade talks for Myles Garrett. And then we heard from somebody, Devontae Smith is in trade. Oh, I heard it. It's all around what's going on at the draft. Like, not even talking about. I hate guys that put out reports and they have no fuck. They just say, I have my sources. And it's a lingering fucking thing that goes on. This is why I fucking can't stand watching other fucking people, because I know they all bullshit about everything. They all bullshit. Some of the top fucking people in YouTube bullshit. They all bullshit everything. Every one of them. And I'm not afraid to say it because they do. They all bullshit. Everybody bullshits. You know what I mean? Like, if you have an opinion, you say it's an opinion. And half the people are afraid to give their opinion anyway. Half the people have no balls to give their opinion at all because they're afraid of the backlash they're going to get for it. That's number one. And number two, to say like the Eagles are interested in this player and then there's nothing behind it. Not even like third party rumors. I would even respect that. And there's barely even that. If I was to be realistic on a player getting traded to the Browns for Myles Garrett, I would say if there was a player involved in that trade, I'd probably say it's Kenny Pickett. You know, Deshaun Watson's coming off an injured, maybe still injured. That contract, obviously not Andrew Berry's fault because the ownership wanted that contract done, you know? So, is what it is, man. This is the offseason is the place where everyone spreads fucking lies about everything to self-benefit their fucking self. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. By the way, guys, this stream is sponsored by BetUS. So have to go check them out. If you guys have not, thank you so much to everybody. We have 222 in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like up the stream. Go get a membership for the extra draft content if you guys have not. We put out a couple videos already. Become a member. Doesn't matter what tier. It could be any tier. Everybody. Obviously, it's for support, but you get extra content for it as well for all the double the draft content. So definitely check it out if you guys have not. So I appreciate it so much. So much. Let's see. Pat Ryan says, I don't think Cleveland is that diabolical. I mean, look, realistically, when a team is trying to get rid of a really good player, they're gonna start out really high on what they want for this player. It's always, you know, just like when you always negotiate, you always start high. And then by the time like it's all said and done, the Browns have a player that doesn't want to be there anymore. Andrew Berry has said they want him to still be there. Okay, the reports came out a few days before the combine that it was pretty much official that like now, Myles Garrett is pretty much going to be done. It is done. It doesn't believe that the Browns can win, and it's pretty much done at that point. Ron says Saquon getting extended was jaw-dropping move. Barkley is going to retire an Eagle. Love that for him. Love that for this franchise. He'll go down as the greatest Eagles running back of all time. He'll go down as one of the best free agent signings of all time. Best signing ever. You're correct, bro. You're correct. There's no doubt about it. I said a few weeks ago, or really the past couple weeks, that it wouldn't shock me if they do something with Saquon Barkley's contract. I didn't expect him to be a $20 million a year back, but they saved apparently $10 million from that one move. Apparently, $10 million from that move, $4 million from the release of Darius Slay, big play Slay, and then 2.1 for the post-June release of James Bradbury. So they're up to what, $39 million in cap space technically, and then when the new league year starts, they should be getting more cap. They should be in the $46 million range. I mean, that would be, if that's true, damn, that's good cap. That's really good cap for not a lot you have to fill in. Oh, yeah, sure. They're going to trade for Myles Garrett. Then they're going to trade for A.J. Brown. They're going to give up players for Myles Garrett. They're going to trade A.J. Brown. Like, shut the... You know what I mean? Stupid. Like trolls that got to come in here, post a Patriot logo to their fucking profile and be like, oh, Patriots want A.J. Brown. It's like, no, they don't, bro. Like, what else do you have to do with your fucking life today, honestly? Like, what else do you have to do with yourself today? EC wants his next Kellen Moore called Smith because he wants Smith to a Saints fan, and from Nola he wants to be home. Yeah, like it's like shit like that. It's just annoying. It's just annoying. Playboy West's question: do you like any of the tight ends in the draft, and would you trade Dallas? Dallas Goedert needs to be extended a year or restructured for that 11.8. The guy from LSU I really like, Taylor Mason, whatever his name is. He's probably gonna go early. I don't know where he's supposed to go, but I like him a lot. Gunnar Hansen was another one that the Eagles had interest in, but he ran a really like a 4.9 5.0 40. Like it was bad. I know he tripped up. I think he just had a bad trip up on both of those 40 times. I could be wrong, but he looked like that was pretty slow. So I don't know. Yeah, Tyler Warren's probably gonna go top 15. Probably. I'm not even putting too much into that. Matt said, did you see some moron Eagles fan on Twitter called Shady McCoy a clown and said it was the best, that trading him was the right move by Chip Dipshit Kelly? No. I don't read all that stuff, bro. I don't read all that stuff. Greg says, get Zach Bond signed to a contract. Now we'll pull a Philly 500 and smoke a cigar. I think it's going to happen, dude. I'm waiting. I think it's going to happen. Pat Ryan says, Joey, he sprained his ankle. Oh, shit, did he? I figured something was wrong. Because he tripped up like once. That first 40 time, I think he tripped. He had to restart it, and he didn't do well. Okay, I didn't know that. I figured something happened. Okay, so obviously, yeah. That's what happened. Rocky said, it's like the Patriots asking the Bengals to trade for Chase. AJ is just as important to our offense. Yeah. You take AJ out of it, it's like, okay. Like, what? What are you going to do then? Like, you're going backwards at this point. You just extended AJ last offseason. Miami, Elijah Arroyo is very good. Look up his Senior Bowl highlights. I've heard his name floating around a little bit too. Greg said, I believe Jalen Walker will be a top 15. Really, huh? He's an outside linebacker, could play on the line. I mean, you could do whatever you want with him realistically. I like Jalen Walker a lot. Another Georgia guy, which would be good. Roxy McCoy is a clown saying Debo is the best player in the league. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Maybe 3 years ago he was. Like, I think Debo will get his this season. Like, but he's got to stay healthy. And I think if you want to trade for him, like, oh my God, it costs a 5th round pick, and their jaws are dropping, and they thought it was a huge. Like, why do you think they're trading him, bro? I mean, they got better by signing a 30-year-old fucking receiver for like 1 season. Terry McLaurin's a free agent after this year at 29, turning on 30. They have like 2 30-year-old receivers starting for them this year. You have the 29th pick of the draft. I understand that, so they can't like go get the best receiver of the draft, but they could have called to get DK Metcalf. Like, they literally didn't want to give up a lot. So they're going to be another franchise that's going to put like mid-tier average weapons around this quarterback that needs to grow with a. What did the Eagles do with Jalen Hurts? They drafted Devontae Smith. Then they traded for AJ Brown, and they have been here ever since. You're going to keep switching guys in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out for Jaden Daniels. Not to mention, we don't even know what Jaden Daniels is going to look like after a blueprint has been revealed on his rookie year. It's just going to be crazy. We got cue ball with the super chat. So I don't want to trade AJ, but I can't turn down 3 firsts. I told my buddy to give us the next 6 firsts for him. I don't want it. I don't even care, dude. I don't even care. Because realistically, if you traded him, you'd have to go for a receiver of the first round. You would have to. And I didn't even look at receiver this year. I'm not even focusing on receiver this year. I know the names, but I ain't focusing on that position for the Eagles at all. So I don't even care about receiver that much. Probably one of the positions I'm not even looking at, to be honest with you. Appreciate the super chat, Q. But appreciate it. Guys, listen, Debo will give them good games if he's fit, but it's not a needle mover. No, I don't think so either. Does that get them over a hump for a fucking Super Bowl? Probably not. Does that give them a hump over the Philadelphia Eagles? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Matt says, I wouldn't mind trading for Pitts, especially with Goddard injured at some point every year. If Kyle Pitts can block, I'll trade for him. But if he can't block, there's no point of even bringing him here. They want to trade for that They want to trade for that dude from the Raiders. Maybe. I don't know. 23-year-old tight end that's only been there for a couple years. He was drafted in 23. They paired him up with Bowers in 24. I don't know. He had 100. I don't know how many yards he had last season. I forgot the numbers of what he even had last season. Pat says, can Pitts block better than Calcaterra? That's the real question there. Yeah. If you're trading for a tight end, are you trying to get the number 1 guy in the building? Especially if it's a younger guy. That's why that guy from the Raiders is getting traded at 23 years old. I mean, I don't know what they think. I mean, Calcaterra can't block. We all know that. You know what I mean? But, they have to do something with Dallas Goedert's contract. So I'm not really sure. Philly for Life says he said best gadget player, not the best player, running back, receiver. Pat says, Mayor, that kid is built like a brick shithouse. Okay. I don't know his metrics, so I have no idea. Matt says, yeah, agreed. If Pitts can't block, definitely wouldn't trade for him. Yeah, no. I would trade for him if they just want to get rid of the Bryce Huff contract. I would do it just to do it. You know what I mean? What is it going to cost for Kyle Pitts? I don't think it's going to cost that much. But if the expense is Bryce Huff's contract and taking that entire contract, I'd probably do it just to do it and then go draft a tight end this year. Calcaterra is a free agent after this year. You have to remember that too. So they might double dip at that position. They might trade for a tight end, and they might go after somebody in the draft. Goddard and Calcaterra are gone after this season. So you got to get that position ready to go by next year. You got to get that number one guy like waiting in the wings, as the number two. They might keep 3 tight ends on the active roster when the season starts. We'll see what happens. So Rocky said definitely see us trading back like in the 18 draft, double up picks in the second round. Yeah, they might do that too. It depends who's on the board still. I think the Eagles are in a good situation because they could pay somebody a lot of money. A lot of money is tied into a first round pick. If they want this specific player that potentially they could pick up a 5th-year option for, that 5th-year option is there if you draft them in the first round. That's why I think it's very special to have that 32nd pick. You might think it's a bad pick, but it's really not, because there's a lot of decisions they can make there. They want somebody in the first round that's worth it plus the 5th-year option, they'll go take them, or they'll move up in the draft for somebody 5 to 10 spots, maybe more. I don't know what it's going to cost. But if they feel like the board really fell on them, they could trade back in that second round, get an extra second round pick, and they could, double task at that need if they really want. So there's a lot of options for the Eagles in that regard. Between that 32nd, which pretty much to me is a second round pick, but 5th-year one pick away from 32 into the second round, you don't have that 5th-year option available for a player. So I think that's why that pick is very special for us going forward. Pat Ryan says Mayer is 6'4", 265. Is he fast? Yeah, he's big boy. Decent blocker. Tommy 5, what's going on, man? It says, with the obvious signings we're worried about regarding Bond, Becton, Rogers, Juergens extension, you think Howie's thinking about extending Goddard or trading him? I think you extend him 1 year, or you redo his deal for this year. Next year's contract is voided, so he should be a free agent after this year. I would just redo his contract and save money. I'd redo his 1-year deal. $11.8 million against the cap is too much, dude. Or extend him another year, move some money around, and save some cap, because realistically, like, he's missing way too much time every year. Thank God Calcaterra's had a he's decent. He gets a lot of playing time. He gets a lot of playing time. So SF says, "Hey Joey, go Birds." What's going on, man? Go Birds, man. Pat says 4.740 time at the combine, not slow. Oh, that's good. Thomas, I'd be surprised if we don't get Garrett. I mean, I'm not going to be. I don't even care, honestly. We don't even need him. We don't need him. Does it help? Yeah, 100%. But if I'm giving up a farm and players and all this other shit that I'm hearing, like, I'm staying away from that trade 100%. Now, the question is, if Washington is on the verge to signing Myles Garrett, do the Eagles cut in and take him just to do it? That's really the big one there for me. If Washington, because remember what Jay Fowler on ESPN was like, if the Eagles, if Washington is close to striking a deal with Myles Garrett and his reps for a long-term extension to get him on the Commanders, do the Eagles cut in? He feels Howie Roseman's going to cut in and make it apparently, quote unquote, a deal, a deal that's worth it. So we'll see. Kareem says, what if the play isn't for Garrett, but for Abdul Carter? I mean, I think it's unrealistic. Abdul Carter, you got to trade up, like, God. I don't even know at this point. Top 15, top 10. I mean, it's going to cost weight. Trading for Garrett, if it's for seriously just picks, it'll be cheaper to trade Garrett than possibly trading up in the draft. You trade from 32 to fucking 12, 13. You know how much that's going to cost? It's going to cost a fortune to trade up in the draft like that. It's going to cost you more. Times the Bills logically need Garrett the most to get past Mahomes. Well, it's not even the defense that needs to get past Mahomes. That offense hasn't been great either. They stopped running the ball with James Cook. They started being conservative. They ran these push plays that they strayed away from running the football. They were beating Kansas City running the football. And they completely just, I think they shit themselves, honestly. That offense especially shit themselves. Yeah, sure, could they use him? Yeah, but your offense can't score. If your offense can't score points when it matters, bro, and obviously Josh Allen can't even win on the fucking road in the playoffs. Can't even win. So, you know what I mean? He could sign there, and if he does, fine. I have no issue with him going to the. I mean, they don't want to trade him in the AFC anyway. That's the big rumor is they don't. The Browns, if they have to trade Myles Garrett, it's not going to be in the AFC. Tony says maybe that's just a rumor, so we make Washington overpay for Garrett. Maybe, yeah, maybe. You know, do you want Myles Garrett in the NFC East? Not really. George says, AJ, New England going to hit it different. You Eagles fans be drinking the insanity juice? Not really, bro. Not really. Go after another receiver, bro, because it ain't going to happen in Philadelphia. Ain't going to happen. Joey, what's your favorite horror movie as of late? I haven't seen The Monkey yet. I heard it's really good. I want to go see that Heart's Eyes movie, that Valentine's Day horror movie. I haven't seen that yet. I'll probably just wait till they're on digital to watch them at home. But Terrifier has been like one of my favorites as of yet. So Playboy West says, Sherber Stewart, you think he would be a good draft pick? Is he the first round? Is he a day 2 pick? I don't think they're going tight end the first round, bro. I don't see it. Regardless, if they're unless Tyler Warren dropped at this draft, that'd be the only time they hit on that pick. Dominic said, I'd rather try to get Pierce in the draft than giving a young player for Garrett. I 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. James Pierce Jr., bro, there's a chance. I think there will be somewhat of a chance to get him. He's fast. He's got really good bend. He's physical. I mean, he's relentless. He's got a high motor. I mean, I think he's perfect for this defense. I think he's great. But where's he going to be? You know, where's he going to be? The Eagles can't wait at 32. They're going to have to trade up for him, but where is he going to land? You know, they might have to trade up to the 20th pick. I don't know. I gotta look at the draft board, see where everyone's at, see what's a realistic trade option for the Eagles. So we'll see. Rocky said, "I want that Walter Nolan DT from Ole Miss." Is that the dude with the dude with the neck injury? They had a neck injury last year. Apparently, he's going to be dropping in this draft. I think it's him, right? George says Vrabel wants him. He will get him. Drake May better than Hurts, bro. Yeah, okay. Who are these? What are these accounts, bro? Pat says, I always wait for stuff to come on streaming. I'm so behind. Last Voyage of the Meter is my favorite lately. I've never seen that. Hooba West says Walter Nolan is a dog. SF says, Joe, you think the number one priority at this point is getting Bond signed? Yes. 100%. There's no doubt about it. 100%. So. But we'll see. We'll see. We will see. Steve says if Donovan Ezekiel or Jihad Campbell slips at 32, forget about it. Well, yeah, I mean, realistically, like, would you still, if they ended up re-signing Zach Bond and they can't sign Oren Burks, would you still draft a linebacker in the first round. This would be another thing that the Eagles haven't done in years, since the 80s. I mean, realistically. So we'll see. Chris says they're Cowboy fans in disguise. These new Pats fans in chat. Yeah. George says, I asked you a question. Why would you not think Howie won't trade AJ? Because we just won a Super Bowl, and they're trying to win another one next year. They're not trading. They just gave him an extension last year. They just gave him a brand new extension last year. So I think everybody has a price. Any GM could call another team and say, hey, I want your best player. Hey, I want Justin Jefferson. I'll give up 4 first rounds for him. So George says, if Cowie can't get a top pick, you don't think he won't? No, he won't. Because of what? No, he won't. 100% he won't. If they're locking guys up, AJ won't be an all-pro with the fucking Patriots. Those statistics will go down like there's no tomorrow because he'll have to do everything for that fucking team. Simple as that. Rocky said, if we don't re-sign Ball, we need to go break the bank for Nick Bolton. Yeah, I've heard Nick Bolton is a free agent as well. How much is he going to cost? Ron says, Joey, if the best edges are gone at 32 and Jalen Walker is there, do you take him even with us paying Bond? Would you do it? Well, it depends how much interest he's going to have in that second round on day 2. If he gets to 32, would you still trade back? I don't know. I have to see what they do at linebacker. Like, I have to see what they do in this free agency. I can't just say they're going to draft him. I have no idea. If they don't sign Zach Bond and do nothing at linebacker, then there could be a possibility. There could be a possibility he gets drafted at 32. But if they sign Zach Bond, I would probably trade that pick back if that was the case. D-Mike says, Nick Bolton has had more productive career than Bond. He's probably going to make 18 plus. Yep. If Nick Bolton has had more years and he's played better on more years, he'll probably be more expensive. Zach Bond has one good year. That's it. So maybe the price goes down for that, but this is a defensive player of the year candidate. Godzilla says, I like Campbell more than Walker. D-Voice, I don't want any of the Chiefs players. I'm not impressed besides maybe Jones. Eagles fan, what is up with these bot Patriot accounts? You're not getting it. Yeah, well, I don't know. It was the same thing when we were playing Washington. It was the same thing. He had all these Washington accounts. I don't get it. Steve says there's so much money invested in the offense. We are destined to draft defense. I agree with it. Draft as much defense as you possibly can. Obviously, you're going to draft an offensive lineman. I would say they're going to draft. I would say offensive lineman they're going to draft, and they're going to draft potentially tight end, and running back might not even be in the cards in the draft. Maybe an undrafted free agent. We'll see. Because they don't need to draft high for a running back either. So. Chris says Patriots were 4-13 last year. I know. Yeah, I don't get it. Go get a DK Metcalf. Go get somebody that wants the ball board that's underutilized. Go get somebody else. Not this receiver. Rex says trade back from 32 to the second round or the third. Should be plenty of defensive end DT. Yeah, it just depends how the board falls. It depends how it falls. Spear King says get Reddick back for peanuts. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting, dude, where Reddick's gonna go. He goes to the Jets, and I don't blame Reddick for what he did at all. Like, Reddick deserved more than $14.5 million for, $14.5 million for 1 year off of 3 double-digit sack seasons it's asinine to think that he's only getting paid 14.5. What I didn't like about was the trade compensation they got. I didn't like the trade compensation that they got for him at the time. And, a third-round conditional for 2026, it really wasn't anything crazy, D-Mice says Bolton is way more productive than Bond 4 years. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I completely get that, but you know, Zach Bond is Vic Fangio's boy. You know, I don't at this point. Like, we're trying to win a championship next year. Like, that's all I care about. And if I mean, you're acting as if Zach Bond is like old. Was he 28? I mean, he still got. I mean, he's got a solid 2-3 years. Linebackers could play for a long time. Linebackers. I mean, look at fucking the guy from Tampa Bay. He's 34, 35, playing at a high level still for Tampa Bay. I keep forgetting his name. Pat Ryan said, I told him to sign Devontae Adams. He ignored me. I could see the Cowboys making a move like that for Devontae Adams. And he's not the same player he used to be either. A lot of these receivers aren't the same as they used to be. A lot of them aren't. Like, people are getting these receivers way too late in their careers. You know what I mean? As I said, I wonder with the song Reddick, if it was coverage and that was more of an issue with him, something was there because the Huff deal was completely off. And I don't even think Fangio wanted, I think that was a panic signing from Howie Roseman. I think that was a panic signing, to be honest with you. I don't think Fangio wanted Bryce Huff. I think that Bryce Huff thing came out of nowhere. I didn't see any other teams that had interest in Bryce Huff. He had 1 10-sack season and a deep rotation with the Jets. I wouldn't keep him. He looks horrible. Post-bye, he looked better, but how much better? Not much. And then if they take him out of a Super Bowl as a healthy scratch, what the fuck does that tell you? You know what I mean? What does that tell you? If they take him out of a Super Bowl, like, does that tell you that they like him? I mean, realistically, I don't even know. Rounds at Bolton is real good, but he's not a first-team All-Pro linebacker. Bond is, just saying. EC1 says, what's more realistic, Joey? Us trading for AJ or me getting purple hair at the barbershop? You getting purple hair at the barbershop. 100%. 100%. Pat Ryan says, D-Money, I that's been the question. I think Vic unlocked Bond. And I think that, I mean, realistically, Bond didn't start 6 games with fucking Saints. I mean, he barely started 6 games in 4 years. Okay? As a role player, as an edge rusher transition to an outside linebacker. Greg says CJ Usama, the tight end, still with the Eagles. He's one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. Is he? I've seen him a lot on some of the blocking here and there. I mean, he was a 1-year deal for the Eagles, so technically he's a free agent, isn't he, right now? I remember they started using him at fullback after Ben Van Sermon went down. They were using Calcaterra as a fullback. They signed that Blazing Game kid that they barely used. They were using CJ Usama as a fullback. So Rocky says Bond, Becton, Rogers, Burks. That's all I care to resign. We could replace Williams and Sweat, Ojomo, Hunt. We got the draft too. Yeah, more Ojomo, even Thomas Booker. Man, like Thomas Booker. They start seeing some flashes with a guy like that. They keep him around. When he made the active roster, I was kind of shocked over it. Yeah, I was a little shocked over it. But I think Thomas Booker is just still producing, and Moro Jomo for a 7th-round pick. That dude has been great in the rotation. It's been great. What's going on? I think Booker's been good in the rotation. I think Moro Jomo for a 7th-round pick. Something froze. I don't know what happened. Moro Jomo's been great in the rotation for a 7th-round pick. He's been absolutely amazing. So Defense, I wouldn't mind if Slay went to Detroit. I mean, he helped us win the Super Bowl, go back to where it all started and win you another. I hear there's chance we could still bring Slay back. Yeah, there's a slight chance. Apparently, it's a steep price, which I'm not shocked about. He ain't, as an older age, he ain't coming back for peanuts. So I don't know what they're gonna do there. I honestly have no idea. That number two, you gotta you can't have a corner problem going into the season. You can't have a corner problem. Can't go back to now we have this corner problem all over again. Slay's obviously been one of the best, one of the best trades we've had. We dipped in that cornerback spot in free agency for how many years and just couldn't nail on one. And you finally did it with Slay. And now he's a Super Bowl champion with the Eagles. So we'll figure out what they do. Right, says new Jalen Mills can't stay where he's at. He's constantly got killed on double moves. Yeah, that's true. Ross said, what they're going to do with Ben Van Sermon. I thought he played great at fullback for Barkley. Really like that. I like to do. Remember they passed one. Remember they passed to him one time. They actually threw the ball to him once. I like how they're trying to move him around a little bit. Obviously, he's an athletic freak. The athletic ability is there, and he's probably got way too much competition from him at linebacker. But realistically, like he's technically, I don't think he's a. I think he's a restricted free agent right now. I don't know. So they're probably going to bring him back. He's coming off that knee injury. He got hurt, I think, he got hurt in practice the week of the Ravens game. Um, so Pat says, let Slay see what his market is like. We could sign Rodgers in the meantime or sign Alexander like we were talking about earlier. I don't know if they have interest in that Jair Alexander. He's another one that can't stay healthy, and I don't think he's physical enough against big receivers, and that's just me. I don't think he's physical enough. Same as Asante Samuel Jr. He's Asante Samuel Jr. is a corner that's going to mirror you, and then he'll try to jump the route. I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't think there's any physicality there with both of those guys. That's just me, though. 220 in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the stream if you guys have it. If you guys haven't checked out the memberships, I've been trying to get as many memberships as possible for the extra draft content we're putting out every single day. Definitely check it out. Doesn't matter what tier it is. You could be low tier, mid tier, high tier. Doesn't matter. You get double the content. Definitely check it out. We just started. We have 2 videos up. We have another video coming out tomorrow. So definitely go check it out. We have more content on the board. So appreciate it so much. If you guys haven't either, definitely check out the Philly Shakedown merch as well. I can't even do this right. Definitely the Philly Shakedown podcast merch. We have a bunch of stuff. We're going to have some new stuff really soon with some of the stuff that is coming out. We have the champion shirt that is out right now. High sprung polyester shirt's been sold like crazy. Great design. It takes about an hour to make for each shirt. So our guy in Florida, the digital print house, has been making a lot of those. The main thing T-shirt with Jalen Hurts in the hallway after the Super Bowl. We have that shirt that is out as well in multiple colors. So definitely check that out. And here's another glance at the champion shirt. It's an absolutely beautiful shirt. A lot of people have bought it already. And we're very proud of it. So definitely go check it out. If you guys have not, link is in the description and will be in the live chat as well. So definitely check out all of that stuff. I appreciate it very much. If I could put this in the live chat without messing anything up, it would be fantastic. Fantastic. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, Jalen Mills, no. Appreciate all the help he gave us, but no. He's no. There's no interest there. There's no interest there. I tell you that. Deep voice, I think Patrick Surtain might be better than his dad. He can't say that same about Trotter Jr. and Asante Samuel Jr. as Hill. Is it better than? Oh, I'm not. I mean, realistically, Trotter Jr. hasn't had an opportunity, so I'm not going to say anything about that. That's just he's barely played, bro, in his rookie year. with Zach Bond turning out the way he has been, the Kobe Dean turning out the way he did this season. I mean, he hasn't played that much. You can't go off of a rookie season that much. Got to produce more, needs more of an opportunity. So D-Money Howie needs to sign DJ Reed, but he will be no, that's definitely not you're signing one of the best corners in free agency for cornerbacks is the worst. The only way Howie Roseman is going to pick up a cornerback is if he has somewhat of a history that's going to put his price down, whether it's injuries or something like that. You're not just going to go out in the market. You can't go. That's where your cap is going to be gone. You go out and sign it. You go out and sign a big time free agent cornerback. That makes absolutely no sense. No sense. Rocky says Ringo will not be fine at DB2. He's a safety, in my opinion. Yeah, a lot of us were saying that he'd be better at safety, but the Eagles don't see him like that. But they say he's been doing really well. I mean, they talk great things about him between, the coaching staff says nice things about him. Christian Parker, pre-Super Bowl, said a lot of good things about him. He's a great special teamer, but he hasn't had a lot of opportunities. You know what I mean? They're gonna work him like crazy this offseason to see what he's gonna bring to the table. They need more inside corners for depth as well. They need a lot more inside corners for depth purposes. So DeJean's got to get off the punt returns 100%. They need to find another punt returner. I don't know why they never used Jahan Dotson for punt returns Jesus. Anybody but, DeJean, even he did a good job, but Covey was hurt like 2-3 times this year. I don't know what was going on with Covey. He had the injury bug the entire year. Ringo is 22. He has been here forever. He's got the speed to play cornerback, but does he have it comes down. He has downhill speed, but back end coverage, I think it's been lacking. But like I said, you really can't say he's good or bad because he hasn't played that much. I don't believe in Keeley. I'm not saying I don't believe in Keeley. I just don't think I've seen enough, which means that I'm not going to say he's bad because he needs more of an opportunity. Like I said, he does have stiff hip. I think he does. I've seen it. I saw it in preseason this past preseason. I get it. It's just not enough time. I got to see him play more. He'll get better. I'm not saying he'll stay like that, but he was stiff at times. And apologies, you can't even throw him. You can't throw him in a game. You can't throw him hot in a game either because he's just, he's, when a guy doesn't play all year and you just throw him into a game, you're not going to be successful either, D-Money says Devin Allen needs to return. I don't think Devin Allen's on the roster anymore, bro. Devin Allen was a waste. Devin Allen was the speedster from the Olympic Games or something, whatever he did. And he got hurt. I don't even remember. I don't even think he's still around anymore. Eli Rick's still a possibility. Look, a couple years ago when we had injuries at that inside corner spot, a lot of these guys played on the inside. Eli Ricks played on, Eli Ricks, I think, is a great man. I don't think he's like a zone corner. I don't think he's a zone corner. I think he's a man-to-man corner. Maybe they'll change what he does, but I just think he has more value when he's playing. When he's more physical, I think he has a lot of value. The way he shut Tyreek Hill in that game, against Miami when he took over in at that spot, I thought he did a pretty good job. And then he's had his hiccups here and there, So we play a lot of zones, so stiff hips really don't matter that much. Yeah, we play zone, but I need to see more, bro. You can still have stiff hips playing zone. There's be times where a guy runs by you. You're going to have to cover him regardless. It's not going to be perfect every time where you're just playing downhill the entire game. You know what I mean? It's been a mix. Just hasn't been zone. It's been man. They've played man to man. They've had Cooper DeJean play man to man when he has to on specific downs. EC wants his wide Kirkle brought up Mills, one Super Bowl, so Derek Barnett, Darby Nelson, Stinkalore. Stefan says we are deeper than people think. Yeah, maybe. I mean, if you're saying right now we're not deep. Right now we're empty right now. And I'm sorry, but Keely Ringo doesn't make me comfortable as the only. If you don't re-sign a guy, does Keely Ringo make me comfortable going to the offseason program? Probably not. Probably not. Ron says Keely will be cornerback too. I'm telling you, let that man get some coaching. He's gonna be just fine. Hey, look, but that's what I'm saying. He needs more. Like I'm literally saying what you're saying right now. I'm saying that I'm not saying that he's gonna be good. I'm not even saying he's gonna be bad. All I'm saying is he needs more of an opportunity. He needs consistent fucking reps. He doesn't get those reps, and when you miss all those reps, you miss game reps, especially when he's not a starter. It hurts. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's not me saying he's not going to do well, but we'll see. Like, all we could do is see. I don't know. There's no answer. We're acting as if Keely Ringo played this entire year and won a Super Bowl. I mean, he's got a ring on his finger, but that's as best as it is right now. Girl said, we also lost Bradbury. We need a veteran, nobody better than Green Goblin. Why? Bradbury has nothing to do. Bradbury was out the entire year, bro. What are you talking about? Bradbury was out the entire year. He was in a cornerback. He was a safety, and he was horrible. He was horrible. Pat says, I'm more than fine with bringing Rodgers back if they do that. I have no problem bringing Rodgers back because he has a special teams pedigree, and I think as a backup corner, I think he played pretty well when he had to. I think Rodgers was fine. Where are you hiding? What's going on? Says, just woke up. Anyways, I'm feeling excellent about the mentality, Fangio. Glad he wasn't satisfied with giving up 22 points in the Super Bowl. Thanks, Dolphins, for giving him up. Yeah. Yeah, when they were doing the prep talk for the parade. Yeah, they gave up 22 points. They put backups in like at the latter part of the game, but, Oh, yeah, I mean, Fangio's been it's the coach we've wanted. And now we're going to have consistency at defensive coordinator now. He's going to know every layer to this defense, and he's going to have control over everything. So. Rodgers is lightning fast. That's true. Got a lot of speed. No doubt. Right, so we need to re-sign Rodgers for DB2 or draft a DB. Ringo is not ready. It still needs to be developed. I agree. He still needs to develop. Gotta be very careful with that, bro. You're hitting another year. You're hitting another year where you can't have a hole in this position. They go into the season with Keely Ringo and he has a bad fucking camp, and he comes out in the season bad because then that's gonna be a problem, Yeah, Paris Campbell. Yeah, Paris Campbell was fine. He was there for blocking, and they had him on the active roster throughout the playoffs. So, D-Mike says, "What's up with Lewis Sign from Georgia?" They're just gonna try to see if they can get some talent out of him at safety. He's gonna compete for that backup safety spot most likely. A former first round pick that just didn't really work out. They'll try to get as much out of him as they can. Ringo is 22, very raw. Yeah, very raw indeed. Richard Rodgers is in a 1-2 cornerback. I don't know. If Mitchell is out for the game, can Rodgers be the guy? Yeah, well, you could say, what if AJ Brown gets hurt? What if Saquon gets hurt? It's the same thing. I mean, what if Lane Johnson gets hurt? What if, you know what I mean? What if Hurts gets hurt? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. But That's why they're not done at this cornerback spot. They're not even close to being done. EJ Jenkins from Step Up. EJ Jenkins is another guy that Sirianni has a lot of familiarity with, just because I think he was with the Colts, I think, when Sirianni was there as a coordinator. He showed some, little tiny flash, nothing crazy, but he's a big body at tight end. So we'll see. Be more competition for him. Mingo says, whatever Vic does with this defense and whoever he puts out there, honestly. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll trust in his trust. I'll trust in anything that he does. We'll see what happens. Razakili is super raw for sure. I think he has the physical tools, and I think he's a worker. He's going to bust his ass. I know he's going to. I know, if he wasn't busting his ass, he wouldn't be on special teams right now. You know what I mean? LD says Rodgers, the one needs to return punts and kicks, and Covey needs to go. We need another receiver that can give some production out in the fourth spot. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, Covey at this point, I don't know if they're going to bring him back. I don't even know if he's a free agent. I think he is, isn't he? I don't even know. I don't even know what his contract is. And if he is, he's going to be cheap to sign back. I feel good about Shipley. I mean, I don't know if they see him, like they definitely need they have to get this backup running back spot good. I like Shipley when it comes to as a dual threat back. His running style is very straightforward. It's really, there's nothing crazy about his running style, but he is physical too. But going out for passes as a receiving back, I mean, I think he's the real deal in open space. After the catch, I think he's very dangerous. But, do the Eagles see him as that backup behind Barkley? I don't know. Where he hides his thoughts of Shady McCoy talking out of pocket, hyping up Jaden Daniels. Even Asante Senior had to check him. Yeah, I saw that news today. I don't know. He's talking about Debo being one, the best receiver. I don't know. There's a weird. I don't think these guys are they're supposed to say certain things to get a rise out of people. I don't know. Make money, my friend, says Shipley is solid, bro. He's not too slow. Yeah, Shipley on return duty wouldn't be bad. We'll find out what happens. Raggy said, y'all forgetting Rodgers had that DB2 position locked up in training camp before he broke his hand. Well, he was the number one corner. Sorry, he was DB2. Yeah, technically, yeah. Quinyon was on the inside. I mean, I don't know why they were going to start Quinyon at the nickel spot. Why were they starting Quinyon at the inside corner spot before the season started? That's what I don't get. You draft a corner in the first round, you're not playing him on the inside. I don't get that whole thing. Yeah, he messed up his hand. And then Rodgers messed up his hand right before the first game, and then that's when they moved Quinyon to the outside. And we didn't have DeJean for 4 games. Well, we started getting him into the defense, but he wasn't a full-time starter yet. Eddie Marmalijo, what's going on? Max Crosby will be an Eagle. I'd be really surprised over that, honestly. He's just a guy. Crosby is just a dude that he bleeds for that franchise. For him to let go of that franchise, I don't know. Maybe he gets traded. I'm not sure. Maybe my friend says depends on how the linebacker position goes. I think Trotter will rise soon. Yeah, we'll see. If Zach Bond doesn't get re-signed, dude, they're gonna be it's not gonna be good. It's gonna be a gaping hole. That's a big hole. Even with Trotter there, it's still a hole, bro. It's not enough. It's not enough. Rory Hines says Trotter Jr. needs more time, but I already love that kid. I think he's flashed a lot from preseason to the amount of times he's gotten into some of these regular games. I think he's done a good job. I think the only thing he's been struggling with is these back. He'll get you think you're gonna get a 3-4 yard loss, and he's got to wrap up better. Other than that, I think he's fine. Rock the Artist says, I just ordered my Jalen Hurts shirt today. Hey, dude, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Me and Philly appreciate it so much, man. I hope you enjoy it. It'll be sent out like ASAP, so you should get a tracking number soon, man. I appreciate it, man. Steven says, I like Mack as a rotational player. I like Khalil. If they don't bring Brandon Graham back, I think Khalil Mack should be signed. I wouldn't sign both of them, obviously. If Graham doesn't come back, I think Khalil Mack should be signed in the rotation. I do. I think he'd be great. I would definitely. I think he'll be cheap. At least if Dean didn't get hurt, I think we would have let Zach walk. Maybe there potentially that could have happened. Sure. I could probably believe some of that. And at the other side of the end point to that I do like is that as much as I hate the injury to Nakobe Dean, I think it's going to make him a lot cheaper. Number one, you got to see when he comes out of this injury how he's going to look. It's going to take him a while. He might not even play until the fucking playoffs. That's how long it's going to take. Even if he comes back, he's been rehabbing this whole time. He's going to come back. He's going to start running. Then he's going to get into some games. If that's going to be the case, he won't be the same player for a good month after he comes back. So realistically, I'm acting as if Nakobe Dean's not even playing this year. I'm acting as if Nakobe Dean is not even playing this year. You know what I mean? So this stream is sponsored by BetUS. So go check them out. If you guys have not, thank you so much to everybody. So if Graham walks, I think Khalil comes into the fold. As this kid says, he might let Milton Williams go and get Jordan Davis to drop 20 pounds. I think realistically, because of that injury, I think you could sign Nakobe Dean after next season. I do. I think he'll be dirt cheap because of that injury. He'll be dirt cheap after that injury. And there'll be a low risk, high reward with him coming back from that injury. So hopefully that patellar tendon injury isn't going to affect him too much. You know? Make money on friends. BG hasn't ruled out on retirement yet, but we'll have to see. Yeah, he had an interview like a week ago. He said he hasn't talked to Howie Roseman yet, but I would think that he's had some discussions already in coming back. Joseph says sign and trade Bond. In my opinion, he's one and done. What? Why? Antoine Phoenix, I think they didn't sign Bond now. I don't think they're going to sign him. I think they want to see what the market for him, and it's a mistake. Then again, who cares if he's a system? Why is everyone saying that? Even if he's a system guy, who gives a shit? As long as he works out with us, who cares? Who cares? Who cares if he only plays well under Fangio? Who cares? If he plays well, he plays well. You're ready for a champion. Your championship defense is already set with Bond even returning. The reason why they didn't sign anybody during the season, and Howie Roseman said this during the Super Bowl press conferences, he said that, because one person gets re-signed during the season, the focus is off. Another person's going to say, oh, well, another player's going to be like, why didn't I get signed? You got an extension. Why didn't I get an extension? And there's, you want to keep the guys hungry all year. And I totally get that. Why he didn't sign anybody during the year. I totally get it. So there's got to be a reason why they haven't signed him yet. But we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? There could be a reason behind all of this. Zach Bond was literally at some convention in Wisconsin. He was I don't know what it was, like a few days ago. And he was doing the Eagles chant with this was a few days ago. He was doing like the Eagles chant and stuff in front of all these people. So I'm like, I think they're just trying to get some of their moves done, and then they'll get to Bond when the time comes. A deal can be made on Sunday. A deal will get made Monday before 4 o'clock. I mean, they're probably not in any rush right now. They probably had talks. It wouldn't shock me. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens, man. Pat says that was supposed to be a comma. The Israel kid said we are clearing cap space to help us resign Bond. He didn't miss a game. No, I mean, look, I think You got to make that signing, dude. That's your number one signing that has to get done. Rocky said, I hope DeJean stays at nickel. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I know outside DBs make way more than nickels when contract extensions come into play. Well, yeah, I mean, that's definite. I don't see them moving him to the outside spot anyway. I don't see that happening. I mean, regardless, you're going to have a hole. I mean, if depending what happens now until free agency, if they don't re-sign Slay or something happens, I mean, they put DeJean on the outside, then you have a big hole at that inside corner spot, and then you really have to you have to figure that out quicker than possible. Rhea Hines, I'm sick of the Saints. They're desperate to get cap space and steal our players. Oh, they're trying to steal our coaches before stealing our players. Never mind the fucking players. They tried stealing Jamal Singleton, the running back coach. They tried Christian Parker, the DB's coach for the DC job. So they didn't take anybody besides Doug Newsomeyer. And obviously Kellen Moore's there, so. Tommy said, I would pay DeJean the same as any other cornerback, to be honest. Yeah. The Eagles will pay, regardless of what position he plays, the Eagles will pay him probably outside corner money when the time comes. Probably. They'll probably pay him a lot of money that they don't. He's got a ton of value. He's got to face these big tight ends. He's going to face slot receivers, number one receivers that move to the inside at time. I mean, trust me, like he's got value. They're not gonna look at it a different way. You know, they're not gonna screw him over and say, well, you played this position, so we're not gonna pay. They're not gonna do that to him, you know? They're not like that. Bob Regan says first round. James Pierce Jr. I know, man. If they don't make a trade for edge rusher, I think they're gonna wait in the wings for him and see if they could trade up if he can last down that draft board a bit. There could be a good opportunity. Right, so would you still look to re-sign Rodgers even if Slay is re-signed? Slay has been dicked up a lot this season, had missed. Oh, yeah, he's been in the blue 10 a lot of times. He's been every game. Slay always has an injury, a small injury, and he comes back. Yeah, you have to have a valuable backup. I would try to sign both of them, honestly. I think Rodgers is going to try to cash in, but you know he hasn't played that much. But when he's had opportunities, he's played well. So how much is he going to get off of all that? I don't know. If you sign Slay, yeah, you need to have someone in the wings behind him. That's a definite. That's a definite. Antoine Phoenix Sports says, don't get me wrong. I love Bond. He played perfect, but he may want more than how he's willing to pay. I don't know until they're taking so long if they're going to resign him. Well, I mean, realistically, why is the contract for Cam Jurgens taking so long? Like, I mean, there's a reason for everything. If Slay wants to come back, why is that taking so long? I mean, some things just take time. Like Howie Roseman has to make a bunch of moves. Like he's got to get all these moves done, get this cap space where he wants it to be. I'm not really worried about it too much. I'll be really shocked if Bond doesn't get re-signed. I'll be shocked. And if they don't re-sign Bond, they better have a backup plan. Like if they don't sign Bond, bro, I mean, are they going to go after a free agent linebacker? I mean, why even at this point even go after a free agent linebacker, a cheaper option? You know what I mean? Obviously, if you're not signing Bond and you go after a free agent linebacker, it's going to be a cheaper option that's not going to be as valuable to this team. You're going to go in that first round and draft a linebacker. You sign Jihad from Alabama. Jihad from Alabama. I don't know. Like you're going to have to make a move. You're going to have to make a move. That's going to really suck, dude. If Bond signs elsewhere and they can't even get Oren Burks back, bro, they're empty. Trotter Jr. sitting there or not, they're fucking empty. Nakobe Dean is going to have coming off a serious injury later down the road, October, November, and Ben Van Sermon's coming off a knee injury, and he's not a starter. He's not starting quality yet. Kirk Johns, what's going on, man? He says, Barkley, 4 more years, baby. Well, I think is it 4 more? It's not 4 more years. It's 2 more. It's this year, which doesn't count because he's still on his original contract. He's got 3 years, right? 3 years. This year, and then the new contract is 26 to 27, isn't it? It's a 2-year extension. It's 2 years. 2-year extension. So after this year, he plays on his new contract for 26 and 27. It's 4? The fuck am I reading? It's 4. He initially signed. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, he already. Right. That's what I mean. Yeah. 2 years, 41.2 million, 36 guaranteed. See here. Well, no, the third year, bro. The third year wasn't an actual. The third year of Saquon's contract wasn't a. It was an option year. It wasn't an actual year. His third year was option. It wasn't. It was 2 years and an option. It was a 3-year deal, but it was a 2-year with an option year. So I guess it's counting as a third year, whatever. It was an option year, but if Bond goes, Campbell is possibly. Maybe. We will see, bro. I'm gonna be really pissed, man. Because the Eagles haven't drafted a linebacker. The Eagles haven't went early in linebacker like that in a long time. Jihad Campbell would be great. That would be great. Do they draft a linebacker in the first round like that? I don't know. It would be a new thing that the Eagles haven't done. The Eagles have done the incredibly impossible of getting a talent like Saquon Barkley at $12 million a year, now extending him for $36 million guaranteed. Now, we'll see what happens with Bourne.
That's right.
We'll see what happens with Bourne. Sorry, was that playing in the background? I think it was by mistake. I apologize. I had the news stuff up, and it must have been playing in the background. Where he hides, I'd be devastated if Bourne goes to Washington. Yeah, that'd be really bad. They're gonna pry somebody from here. It wouldn't shock me. They're gonna pry somebody. It wouldn't shock me. It would not even shock me that much. Rocky says, shit, resign Bourne and draft Campbell. Have 2 dominant linebackers would be nice. That wouldn't be bad. I'd be more shocked over that. You know what I mean? Can't have enough linebackers, bro. You got 2 coming off knee injuries, and you have Trotter Jr. just sitting there. It's not enough. To double up wouldn't be a bad thing. That means Trotter's going to take another. If they sign Bourne and drafted Jihad Campbell, then that means that that means that Trotter's going to take another back seat. You're obviously not going to, with Campbell, you're not going to sit him, Tony said, what's the highest spot you trade up to get James Pierce Jr.? God. I mean, it depends, what it's going to cost a fortune. I mean, realistically, I think the highest they could draft, the highest they can go up is 20 would be really a steep. 20 would be steep. Be very steep. I would love to get up to 15, but it's not going to happen. Does he drop past if he could drop past 20, I think they have a shot. But they're the 32nd pick, bro. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Says Maxwell should have a chip on his shoulder. Too much defensive line depth to trade up for Pierce. We need edge rushers, bro. We need edge rusher. You know, you're losing Sweat. You're losing Milt. Okay? I like Thomas Booker. I like Milton Williams. I like Moro Jomo a lot. I think as a rotational piece, he's going to be great. Jalix Hunt, I think, is a huge gem waiting in the wings right now to have that breakout season. Nolan Smith is going to have a good season. You need like two more. You need like two more guys. You need two more edge rushers. It wouldn't shock me if they go DT again in the mid rounds or something. You never know. You know, Milton's a 3rd round pick. You know, look what he turned into. They need two. I think they need a couple edge rushers. They need a double dip at that position, if you ask me. Extending Sweat clears $39 million. Yeah, well, he's a free agent, so they can't extend him. He's a free agent. So they can't extend a player that's becoming a free agent. Not him. They can, but I think his cost is going to be way too high. Cost is way too high. Milton's definitely gone. Like, after that DT from the Cowboys just struck up 21, 22 a year, Milton's going to go for 25, 24. D-Mike says Aziz and Trayvon Walker to Georgia, guys. Yeah, Trayvon Walker's an interesting one. They just paid an edge rusher. They have another one that has one more year left on their they have one more. He has one more year left on his contract. Pat says, I second the double dip if we don't do something's crazy. I think it's gonna be on the line. I mean, potentially. I think it's on D-line, those first 2 picks. Kirk says, what positions you want at round 1? Defensive line, offensive line. Defensive line, and we're just spitballing because we don't know what moves they're making in free agency. If I was to spit right now, it's defensive line, offensive line, and tight end. I probably have to say. I would say D-line, tight end, and offensive line. So that's where I'm kind of at right now. We currently have 21.9. No, we have more than that now. We just freed up I thought it was 7 for Barkley for the extension. 7 for Barkley, but someone told me today 10. 4.3 for Slay, 2.1 for Bradbury. So they freed up 10 or they freed up like 16. So they should have like 34 to 30. They should have 34 to 39 mil in cap space. They're above 34 million. So they have way more cap space than that now. And then when the new league year begins, they should have even more cap space. I would think on the new league year, they're going to get that extra 7, 8 million, whatever the league cap has increased. Steven says Sweat was tweeting, what do you mean gone? I mean, look, if they resign him, great. I have no issue with it, but we're going to find out. The only I think Sweat is a more possibility to resign than Milton, just because Sweat wants to. He said right after the Super Bowl that he wants to be in a good situation. The money. He said the money is important, but the situation is important as well. I mean, you could sign him to a second contract. That'd be great. They sign Sweat, then great. You know, not a bad move. It really depends on Sweat and where he wants to go and how much money these teams are really. If he's going to take a little bit less money, he's going to get more money but less money with the Eagles. It just depends. I don't know. It really just depends. So, yeah, BG could sign one more year. I have no issue with BG coming back. If you sign BG, you're not getting Khalil Mack. If BG walks and retires and Khalil Mack wants to join as a deep rotational piece, I have no issue with that either. I don't think you should sign a 37-year-old and a 34-year-old. Just do one of them. Just go one of those guys. Joe says Howie has 3 fifth-rounders. Does he have 3 fifths or 3 sixths? 3 fifths this year? And in 26, he's going to have 3 thirds. And the problem with the Josh Sweat Milton situation is that Milton's going to garnish the Eagles a 3rd-round pick, comp pick for 26. The Eagles have 3 third-round picks for 26. Not this year's draft, next year's draft. Our own 3rd-round pick, the pick from the Hassan Reddick trade, and for Milton Williams signing to another team. Eagles will have 3 third-rounders. The Eagles need those picks. And Josh Sweat will garnish them a 4th-round pick for 26. They'll have 2 fourths in 26 and 3 thirds in 26. What is with who is these weirdos talking about Green Goblin? Who are these guys? No offense, but why? He doesn't even play corner anymore. I mean, he does, but he plays safety now. So, no, the Eagles are done getting guys. The Eagles will not stoop to getting a guy like that. No. He won't play good at outside corner. You had a guy like that that's probably 30 now. I don't know how old he is. And it's totally not an improvement over. I'd rather have Isaiah Rodgers at cornerback too than have fucking Green Goblin. Simple as that. He don't have it, bro. Trust me. I guarantee you he won't be signed to the Eagles as the 2nd corner. Never happening. That man is toast. Done toast. Never will happen. I guarantee you he will not be on this roster. Slay, I'm hoping, comes back. But if Slay's back, they got to have someone valuable behind him. DJ Reed, no. You're talking like the top free agent. It's not going to happen, bro. We're not dipping into the free agent market for cornerbacks. That's the worst market, and the Eagles have done that enough for years. Rocky says we need safety too. Reed is on a 1-year deal, and Sidney Brown cannot cover anybody. I don't think, dude. I think it's the opposite. I think Sidney Brown can cover, but he just can't tackle, bro. His tackling is fucking reckless. And Tristan McCollum, I think his tackling is better. I think you got them mixed around. I think McCollum is the worst one out of the bunch, backup wise. I think Sidney Brown has better coverage. I've seen Sidney Brown cover in 23, and he was way better than Tristan McCollum. Tristan McCollum is garbage in coverage. Garbage. Completely garbage at that rate. Kirk says, crazy we have 30-plus mil in the cap with all the guys coming back fresh off a Super Bowl repeat. That's what I'm saying, dude. So either we freed up 34 million or 39 million. Sorry, we freed up 10 million or 17 million. 16, 17 million. People were saying the Barkley extension. I read it before from a few people. It said it was $7 million. We freed up 7 million in cap. Then people said we freed up 10. From Barkley alone, we freed up 10 million. Plus the 4.3 from Slay, the 2.1 from Bradbury. So we should be at, if I was to range it, we should be at 34 mil. we should be from 34 million to 39. And the new league year hasn't started yet, and the Eagles should have more cap, right? From the league, 7 million. I mean, realistically, can they have 46 million dollars in free agency? I mean, that's very good cap. That's really good cap. Damn disrespect for Mills, mind-boggling. Super Bowl champion. I know, right? It's been like fucking 7, 8 years since that Super Bowl. Man, disrespect. The disrespect I'm giving that guy. God. Man. Let's sign him 7, 8 years later. Oh, man. Makes so much sense, right? Right? So much sense. Steven says they didn't think they were playing. Come on, man. Where he hides says, man, we got money to blow. Yeah. As long as we're not trading players, I'm fine with that, bro. Patriots have 127 million. Washington. The Patriots, Milton Williams apparently has been linked to the Patriots like nonstop. I think Milton Williams is going to go to the Patriots. He's been linked nonstop to that team. Kenny says we need to sign Zach Bond because if we don't sign Zach, we are screwed. We got a gaping hole there. So because you're a Super Bowl champion, you can't be trash. 7, 8 years later. Or yeah, Joey Shake sarcasm. Because it's just like, I don't get who these people are, bro. You got a Patriots fan in here talking about A.J. Brown, then he disappears. And then you have this one guy just talking about Jalen Mills being signed. Like, who are these fucking weirdos, bro? I call it how I see it, bro. I don't care. It gets me less views. I could care less, dude. I'm gonna be myself, and that's who I am. So, got like weirdo accounts talking about one thing the entire stream. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Kirk says Kellen carried Sirianni last year. I think this has always been. I think it's always been. I think this has always been Sirianni's offense with Kellen's flavor into it, if that makes sense. So we'll see what happens. I think that was the best decision they probably could have made for the offense to keep the consistency there. I do. The only thing I question with it is when in 2023, since Kevin Patullo has been here the last few years, in 2023, the Eagles, like, the offense just couldn't get anything going. 10-1, they lose the next 6 out of 7 games. Where was Kevin Patullo during all that time? If Kevin Patullo has been around, and the only thing, you know, I don't know. Where was Kevin Patullo when we were like, when Brian Johnson was the scapegoat and Nick was game planning fully for this offense? I have no idea. That's why I'm just sitting there like, well, where was Kevin Patullo at that time? I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm not even worried about that, to be honest with you. I'm not thinking fucking 4 or 5 months down the road already. Like, we got to get this roster figured out, and then we'll get to like competition at camp, coaching, how shit looks. We're not going to know nothing until training camp, like at least preseason starts. We're not going to see what this fucking offense looks like. Yeah, Kevin was here in 22. Yeah, he was. Kellen had the worst passing offense in the NFL, and he carried Sirianni. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, one of the less passing teams, passing attempts, last in the league. Yeah, I get it. I mean, but Kellen's not. I don't think Kellen's used to running the ball this much either. I don't think this squad was really used to running the ball as they did this year. You know? It's not Mills hate, it's reality. Kenny said, and even we back at square one. It's like, oh, let's hit the reset button. Just know we got to sign. Well, no, you're hitting the reset button 100%. Because in my mind, Trotter's still a fucking rookie. He's still fucking raw. He flashes a lot, but he's climbing a little bit, but it's not as much as everyone thinks. Because this is what happens. Everybody is like, and I get it. Like, oh, but the coaching, what about this? I'm like, I'm not even worried about like the fucking play calling yet, or I'm not worried about none of that until like we got so much. We have a week and a half left until free agency, and like we got to see what this roster looks like before anything. You know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Defense was crap all year. What defense? Brian says, I can't wait till Trotter gets his chance. Yeah, and he might have his chance. I mean, we'll see, but you know, you're empty right there. I mean, you don't sign Zach Bond. You have to use that first round pick on a fucking linebacker. I mean, you're gonna have to. Like, I don't know. What Fangio is gonna take like a nobody talent and be like, I see something. He's gonna create another Zach Bond on this squad. I mean, I don't know. We're talking about Mills because we need a veteran cornerback. No, just because he's a veteran doesn't mean he's good, bro. I don't know why you have like 10 million accounts. Guys are being weird. He's literally got 2 accounts. Stupid. Who do you think is running back 3? I don't know. I mean, they brought Lou Nichols back. They have Davis Price, that guy from the 49ers they brought back. I don't know. I mean, they're going to carry 2 on the roster, and they'll have a 3rd on practice squad. So I don't really care as much about it. I mean, I would like to have a bruiser back. Be nice. You know. Kirk says that's why Kellen got a head coaching job. Yeah, well, he got a head coaching job because he was at 4 years in Dallas, 3 years he had top 10 offenses in Dallas. He went to, I don't know what the offense was ranked with the LA Chargers. I'm not sure. I don't think they were top 10 unless I'm wrong. I want to see Gabe Hall has this defense. I want to see that Byron Young from Alabama that they signed. I want to see that Byron Young kid too at DT. He's another guy I want to see in the offseason. Byron Young. If you guys I don't know if you guys heard of him or not. He's been around for a bit, so it's another guy. Whereas I really hope they drop Kenny G to running back 3 and let shit. Well, Kenny G's a free agent, bro. Kenny G is the free agent. He will be signing somewhere else, so he will not be coming back. D-Mice to sign Rashad Penny. God, what a waste that was. Here, hold on. Hold on. Yo, Kirko, what's the shape of Italy, bro? Kirko, what's the shape of Italy? Just a simple question. Kirko, what's the shape of Italy, bro? No, don't want to answer. Now doesn't want to answer. He's begging for that another Joey Shakes rage. I ain't raging over nothing. Two Jalen Hurts people in one stream is a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. You got two devices on, don't you? Come on. You could tell us. He's looking up the shape right now. I'm asking him a simple question. What is the shape of Italy? I'm asking Kirk, what's the shape of Italy? Seven says running backs are easy to find, especially backups. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Like, I think the Eagles could draft a running back between rounds 5 to 7. I'm not even worried about that. Kirk was here as delusional moron. No. I don't know. Is this like just normal? Like, the more like, I'm not like the more subscribers you get, the more idiots that you get. I mean, I'm not saying all of you. You know who I'm talking about. Right, so I think Jurgens and Davis get extensions this offseason. Next offseason. Well, Jurgens this offseason. I think Jurgens will be extended this year. Davis probably next. Davis has a 5th-year option, so we'll see what happens with that. He should be relatively cheap, too. Jahan Dotson staying at wide receiver 3. Kirk said, I like Shipley at 2. Same here. I'm a big Shipley fan. I think he just needs more opportunity. I mean, I think he showcased a good amount, some sample sizes this year. I like his dual threat back. I like him as a dual threat back. In the receiving game, I love him in the receiving game. Yes, unfortunately, comes with the territory, I guess. Yeah, I'm close to 1K. Finally, the idiots do start coming at it more. I don't know. Sometimes I just notice that shit. Yeah, congrats, Hyde, on 1K, bro. If you're close to it. Let's sign Eddie Lacy. Rockets at Carr getting that bag next offseason. Well deserved. Yeah, he's going to. I can't even imagine. I don't even imagine like what that contract's going to look like. Matt said, watch Shipley at Clemson. He's underrated. I think so too, dude. I think so too. He just needs to, yeah, he needs to get a little bit more. He needs, I felt like he gassed out so fucking early on that run. You saw he was like dying. By midfield, he was starting to die down. Are we ever going to sign Zach Bond? I hope so. He better. Would be assigning Eddie Lacy to play right guard. Yeah, Tyreek Hill's a free agent. Or is he get released? I don't know what happened with him at all. If Goddard doesn't get one, he's gone after next season. His contract is voided next year. He's technically a free agent after this year. It's a voided deal next year. So technically the Eagles can let him go after this season. Curvo says, note to self, don't like certain players too much. You'll get labeled an idiot. I mean, if you talk about the one player the entire stream, then you probably will be labeled as an idiot. If you say, I want Jalen Mills because he's a veteran player. Yeah. You'll be named an idiot pretty fast. Gotta bring some context to the conversation sometimes, you know. Right, so Shipley needs to work out with Saquon all offseason, get the speed up. I agree. That'd be perfect for him. Isn't Ruggs still locked up? What is up with these fucking people? I mean, it's not funny, but it's just like, God, dude, out of nowhere. It's like, Jalen Mills, is Ruggs available? Like, what? What? Ma'am. Devin says Reddick, Hargrave, and Ertz. Yeah, didn't they release Javon Hargrave? Kirk says, hot take. Says Hurts doesn't like Goddard. Almost avoids throwing to him, it seems. He's way better than the stats he has. Bro, he's been hurt every year for like 5 to 8 games. Goddard showed up in the playoffs. Oh. I know it's a hot take. I get it. D Money says Jalen Mills rookie equals bum. Jalen Mills veteran equals bum. Bang Bang Burgang says, what about bringing back Ertz? Yeah, I don't know, man. That comment that Ertz had when he was like, I wish I was younger playing with Jaden Daniels for years to come. I was like, bro, you fucking won us a Super Bowl, bro. He's like all like hypnotized by playing with Jaden Daniels. I don't know. I didn't really like that statement too much. I mean, I don't care, but he was just like, that was kind of weird. But I don't know. I don't know if Ertz. I don't know. He might he's retiring. He won't sign immediately. He'll probably be a late signing somewhere. EC says, no, I said where would Henry Ruggs sign at Commanders or Cow? No. Someone else was in the chat saying, like, is Henry Ruggs available or something? It wasn't you. It was somebody else. It was Joseph McCoo. He said, my bad. Ryan says, no one's thinking about Calcaterra. He was a huge X factor in Dallas. Absence. Excited to see him take it up a notch. Yeah. His block, he'll never be a number 1 tight end, though. He can't block for anything, so. As a backup, he's great. But Dallas Goedert's a free agent after this year. Calcaterra's a free agent after this year. So, got to think about that, too. That's why tight end is really important. They're going to have to add a tight end. Whether you trade for one or you go into this draft. I don't know what Jamal Williams did this season. I have to look at his statistics and how he played. I honestly didn't follow the Saints too much this year. You know what I mean? I'm not really sure. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be there's gonna be a lot to talk about the next week, and then we're gonna be doing streams every day from the night before free agency to throughout the entire week and a half. So we're gonna be doing streams every day. We're not doing late night streams. We're gonna be doing like lunchtime streams, and then if we sign somebody, we'll be live streaming and we'll be having videos and all that stuff. So a lot will be done. Be a lot of stuff to go over. We'll see what happens. But guys, we got 171 in the chat. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the stream. I appreciate so much from everybody being here on this late night stream today. I want to put one in for Tuesday. Usually Tuesdays and Fridays I stream. Once free agency is here, I'll be streaming every day. So we'll be kind of online, looking at stuff, seeing what the rumors are, you know, going all over the place. You know? But if you guys haven't, make sure to check out the extra draft content. If you become a member, doesn't matter what tier it is, you become a member, you get double the content pretty much. Doesn't matter. Like I said, doesn't matter. It could be a $2 tier, $5 tier. We just put out, we have one video out now. We have a second video coming out tomorrow. Every day we have more draft content. There'll be content on the regular stuff and the membership stuff, but you get double the content if you become a member. And obviously check out the Philly Shakedown merch as well. Got a lot of new merch that's out. Definitely go check that out. The High Sprung t-shirt is out. The champion shirt, polyester fabric, is great. Guy works really hard on these shirts, takes an hour to make, so definitely check them out. A lot of people have gotten them already and absolutely love them. Check out the Main Thing t-shirt as well. We've been selling those, and a lot of people have liked those as well. Link in the description for the store. And we have we have hoodies and everything. We have the new World Champions shirt, hoodie and shirt. Everything comes in a hoodie and t-shirt, doesn't matter what it is. That we won that John t-shirt with the Super Bowl trophy, and the hoodie is there, and a lot more down the line. So there's a lot of stuff. By the end of the season, we'll probably be taking some merch out of the store depending on what's going on. But we'll have some new stuff as well going forward. Here's some more pictures of the champion shirts of the small bundle we have left. We've been making these on order pretty much. So definitely check all of that out going forward. And, we're all there. So, all right. Other than that, that is going to be it. Joey, did you buy a super jersey? What's a super jersey? What is that? I don't know what that is. What's that? Brad says, Joey, next time 500 pronounces Kylie Ringo. Correct him, please. Yeah, I know he says Kylie Ringo all the time. I know he messes up a couple. I mess up a lot of names, bro. I mess up a lot of names. Kylie Ringo. I think it's funny, but I'll let him know. We got Tony. What's going on, man? Tony, welcome to the camper tier, my friend, and enjoy all that extra content for the draft, all that great stuff. We already have a video out. We got another video coming out tomorrow, so you'll have a video out every single day. So for all the members, appreciate it so much. Appreciate it entirely so much. But yeah, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Where's that piece of paper that I just messed up here? But guys, this stream is sponsored by BetUS. Definitely go check them out if you guys have not. Check the description below for the Philly Shakedown podcast merch. I'll put the link in the live chat, which I didn't do before. and become a member as well for the extra draft content. And yeah, that's going to be it. So we'll probably stream on Friday. We'll stream on Friday, and we'll have the shakedown this weekend, same time, same stuff, and we'll have a lot to talk about. A lot of rumors, a lot of stuff going on, and that's it. So other than that, guys, you guys have a fantastic night, and I will see you guys on the next one. Appreciate the super chats, appreciate the members, memberships, and all that stuff. So I appreciate it. Appreciate Kenny so much, man. I appreciate so much, dude. And everybody else. I know we were bantering a little bit at the end, but that's what happens. We usually go off topic and talk about stupid shit. So, all right, you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys in a few days. We'll have a video out tomorrow, all that stuff. All right, peace out. Peace.